Introducing the team with challengers players, but on a collegiate banner, Northwood University. One of the newest challengers teams, one of the most fierce opponents in all of the Fun Haver events, introducing Burger Boys.
And here we are getting ready to take a seat in the hottest seat in Vegas. It's time to see some Icebox. And honestly, it's time to also see what they're going to lock in here, Zobi.
Oh, for sure. We're getting ready to jump in Agent Select. But I got to say one more thing. Northwood, they're hyped up on Potassium. They had a bunch of bananas before the game. You didn't get to see it, but they were like in their like aura photos. So I hope you had a good breakfast as well, Joey, and I hope that Burger Boys had more than just their own burgers. But Icebox, we had predictions for compositions, Joey. You called predictions for Lotus, and you didn't get to finish Haven. What do you think is gonna be these teams' go-to on Icebox?
100% of Viper.
Okay.
I think that's trolling if you don't pick one. I don't necessarily think you need a Killjoy, but Killjoy is very helpful, and Sova. So I think those are like the three, like almost 100% guaranteed: Viper's, Killjoy, Sova. The other two is probably some form of Flash, whether it's KO or Gecko, and then a lot of teams can do whatever they want with the last one. It's Chamber if you want to do double Sentinel, Jet if you want to fight, get aggressive. Like I said before, Waylay.
Ooh.
Let's see it.
Well,
So,
there it is.
I'm taking a peek at these, right? So your comm was pretty much good old-fashioned Icebox, right? Pretty
Yeah.
standard with the double initiator. We look over at Burger Boys, though. Not so much. Instead, opting for Sentinel, Pseudo Sentinel, Smoke Solo, Viper, and then it's actually the double duelist here. So I don't know. How do we like the Bonnie on Jet, the Nanners on ISO? I mean, they're great players, but what is it missing or what is it offering?
I think for me, this is them playing to what the vibes are today, partially. Like I talked about, Nanners was like the one that allowed them to have a turnaround on map 1 to 2-0 against YDZ Infinity. And also I talked about earlier today when we had our first Icebox, I'm like, I do think this is a map where a double duelist is viable. Usually it's the Jet, Reyna, right?
Yeah.
Joey, so how does it change how you have to play like a defense side on Icebox?
But if I have the double duel?
Yeah, you have a double duelist.
I honestly think it just allows you to control more map space and be a little more aggressive, right? Like usually you can see, Northwood has the KO, right? So like they can play a little more retake heavy, and you can do that with like the ISO. But I just think that having the ISO allows you to get a little more active and just take a little more space and have a little more fun.
Perfect. Well, Joey, it's been an honor having you on the desk, but as we are getting now into the game, your predictions of who is going to be making that impact, we're going to have to let the gameplay decide. So we are going to be saying bye-bye to Joey and hello to me and Zobi's casting. We're going to have a solid game here. I'm really hopeful that Burger Boys can dominate and just really show us what they were capable of, but Northwood came to party.
Oh yeah, for sure. You think that the ISO was on the collegiate roster more than the challengers one, but all right. Matt, solo anchor left towards the B side, gets pinged out by the suppression, forced to fall off, wait for the aid of their jet here. Do they realize how many players they are about to receive, though, as this entire squad for Northwood is starting to creep up?
Yeah, taking it nice and slow. You know, we talked about Ferbsa here. We talked about him being the highlighted player for a reason, having to entry right now, and Jet does have that Sheriff. Big investment for him, but he's only needed one dash to get his one, and that's going to be one player now no longer here. Huge pickup for Northwood to keep up that energy. Might be able to find another opening pick like that.
Both of these 0 points have hit Matt at this point. Like, you always know where they are off this suppression. But even though they lost the first player and conceded the site, Spike has not gone down until Tuesday decides to stick it through off this side, getting the toxic screen, and Vix, the bodyguard.
Yeah, just getting another pick like that. This attacking side of Northwood, very strong, but you can't rule out Burger Boys when they still have Retro alive and well. But the bomb is slowly ticking away, and they have to start to play. They gotta go together, and they're using all their util. Great launch, but it's that Viper wall completely cutting off where they can entry, and it's gonna be Retro first to fall. Nanners to get the trade. Another one, but look at the flank developing from high ground. It's up to 2 to clutch it, and it's Rip Benji to get the pick, and Tuesday to end out our pistol.
Wow, I mean, take Blast, copy, paste it, and you get Benji right now. The Killjoy lurks are impactful no matter how you spin it. And I'm not going to lie, my teams always yell at me for lurking on Killjoy, and I'm like, watch any pro match, and it is a prerequisite to success. And that's exactly what's proved from the get-go in the pistol round. Now, what was interesting to me is disrespect from Northwood throwing the way of Burger Boys, right? They were respectful, they were going to let them plant, they were setting up for that post plant, and Vix Doe's probably what was a key player in that retake. So they're delayed, and you mentioned it was a good effort, but effort doesn't get the job done. So a buy up here. The Outlaw finally bringing out the Reign of Terror here, which is, I feel like, is a namesake for this map. But what is this?
Big stack. I mean, you have one player on A, but it's really up to Rip Benji to show what he can do. He's the one guy with only a pistol here, so he's not going to find any value, and that's just going to be a free pick on your flank watch. Alvin Boy knows that the team is now A, got a lot of information for them, and look at this, everybody pushing up into mid, trying to group up and find a potential re-hit.
You think they're flanking, you take space, you flip the map, and that's exactly what they've done. Ferbs up finding the first, but these pistols are not done answering back.
Not done quite yet, but unfortunately, it's done for Bonnie. It's done for Matt, and it might be done and dusted here for Retro. Classic in hand, they're getting aggro, but it's gonna be Ferbsa who wants his 4th. And that is a solid, clean round. I gotta say, though, I love the aggression. Great read here from Burger Boys.
I mean, yeah, we were like graced by, okay, we don't have a duelist from the first attack half we did with Flash playing on the stage. Now we get to see what it looks like when they are like pedal to the metal, right? And that's exactly what we're going to see at a first. I mean, you entered with an Outlaw for crying out loud. And now, this is why Benji had that Ghost, right? Because they are that solo player, because they're often playing by themselves, you want them to have a rifle and open up the map for you on a bonus when you know you can't win an all-out site exec with worse weaponry.
Absolutely. I mean, the goal of a lurk up here for, just flank watch is get the info. He got the info, and their team was able to clean it up. So as we are jumping into the next round, the Owl Drone is going to be able to spot one. Questionable if it is on Bonnie yet, but Dip pushing up into mid, has the timing. It takes out Alvin Boy. Ferbsa, a clean shot as well. We talked about that entry with the Outlaw. Huge pickups there, losing the Senti, losing the Duelist. Defense is losing everybody. Nanners has fallen as well.
And it looks like Matt about to follow to the grave. Unless they get pinched, unless they get the counter timing. What is this? Dip single-handedly clearing out, exterminating Burger Boys from the establishment at the moment, and Vix just finishes them off. 3-0, the bonus converted. And honestly, did you see the level of communication out of Northwood required there? The KO flash blinds the turret boiler so that Dip can slip by the window. Yeah. I mean, hats off, I would say, to Alvin, actually, for recognizing that could have happened. Like, you take the swing, you double check it. Unfortunately, you lose the gunfight, and that's what forces the round to crumble and sets up what we see here.
Yeah, our eco now coming into a light armor Sheriff time to shine, and hopefully we're going to allow them to at least get the spike down. But with Nanners, close quarter Guardian, or sorry, yeah, Guardian in hand. Actually stops the drone using the suppression here. A lot less information to gather. They know that the ISO is close, but Dip doesn't care how close. A headshot to open us up. B site now going to be a real fight as Retro only has a Sheriff to find their picks.
Here we go. Retro. Instead of waiting for that reinforcements to come, but Ferbsa, name a better duo, the Outlaw, they're bonusing it not one, but 2 rounds.
The nade takes out Alvin Boy, and then Retro is able to get the trade. Zombie, we're seeing the flank, and the round's over, just like that.
I mean, the speed here is just astounding. I mean, we know Dip didn't list off Burger Boys, then that showed that they are not afraid of them. And I think what's my issue here is we talked to Joey about this, and it's my personal belief that on the defensive half with this double duelist, you have to get aggressive. You have to find the opening blood. You take space, you find that kill, you fall back. And we haven't had that happen just yet. You're even having your duelist play separate here. And with the economy that's fragmented, I think that's why they haven't been able to be that spearhead. And I think if anything's going to turn the game around, it's going to be Bonnie with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, and you know,
Get out of my
attack,
way.
they get so much money right now, but it's Ferbsa who says, okay, I'm going in with another sniper. I'm just going to pop my knives here to find their real opening. And Nanners, double tap activated, going to use that ultimate, but it doesn't hit. Now they don't have double tap. Unfortunately, Northwood can just take a deep breath and wait this one out. Wait for the double tap to fall, wait for the owl drones to go away, and half of the defensive util is gone.
This is interesting. Boney already rotating over, right? Like, despite starting on the B side, as soon as contact was made off that info initial utility, the shot doesn't align. Now the novelty factor is gone, and you haven't found the opening kill just yet. And now that you know where the operator is, right? Dip, go to the other side, which Benji made sure that nobody pushed up, countered it, took B main space. Now you have to re-clear the angles. They could not off of this toxic screen. And it looks like Match is going to respect it, play retake with the team. I mean, it's going to be hard to withstand this alone.
Yeah, especially even if they manage to slow it down, the bomb's going to be planted no matter what, even with all this util landing here on Dip. He just gets bomb plant walk. So wait, just kidding, can't walk away. He is absolutely tased there by Retro, and that's the kind of pick. One smoke, the only smoke gone for Northwood.
So no more decay. Going to facilitate this retake a lot smoother. The difficulty is now that operator becomes a double-edged sword. No retake for your duelist unless you swap the weapon out. And I mean, a great reveal. And you know where to focus on first.
Yeah, big ult here for the Hunter's Fury. Ferbsa going to be able to stand inside of it. But what is this? All of the wall banks coming out from Retro and Matt. And that is the high ground to take it. Vix, last player standing, does have a single shock dart, but has to get on the bomb. And you can't do that if Retro's guarding his team.
Ooh, and there we go. Finally a successful retake, but it took a lot. I mean, 2 players escaping with their lives. The operator, I feel like that was Northwood showing them respect for the operator, and we're like, we're not going to fight into it. It looks like it was recovered, which is great, but again, winning 4 rounds in a row, the money, fine for Northwood. They're going to take that, be like, okay, what went wrong? Let's fix it. Let's move on.
Yeah, keeping it real here for us. I'm looking at the ultimate from Dip, though. A Viper's Pit can just do so much to this team if they just get it down. There's no KJ turret, or sorry, no KJ lockdown yet to scare him away. Ferbsa now pushing up onto Belt. We've seen this guy be the entry, and I think we're going to be able to see it again. Dash is active, and Nanners is getting a little antsy.
I mean, you talk about waiting out the double tap, well, wait out the tailwind. And now, I mean, you drone it out, so Nanners knows what angle to take, or the Hunter's Fury knows where to find its target.
Yeah, but it manages to not hit much. Nanners does spot out Ferbsa, does a little bit of damage. The Owl Drone is now going to try to lead the charge, but all of this util is doing one thing amazingly. Buying space for Dip. Shock Dart not going to quite take out Ferbsa yet. Somehow still standing. Nanners finally wanting to finish what he starts, and that's going to be 1 pick down, but he's caught out 2 wide swung, and Vix is getting the picks as Tuzi gets another, and Dip finally lurking up mid, needs to get aggressive, but Bonnie tries to find a hold here, but they still know about the player in mid, and Benji has just taken out 1, but Matt's here for the cleanup. He gets 2.
It's all down to Bonnie. Does have full HP. Was whipping some off shots, but you got the Blaze Storm in your back pocket as a contingency here. Unless, do you see what I see? I see a null command from the KO. That's one way to dash the hopes of Burger Boys. Expand your lead if you can get it popped. My expectation would be if things get dicey, but now you don't get to make that choice.
And 2 knives remaining, just 1 for the brain is all you need, and Vix is going to pick it, but Shock Dart just a little bit short, but who's going to come up short in this clutch right here, as unfortunately for Vix, he's low on util, and Bonnie has quite a bit. 2 knives is all you need, but he's going to opt for it in the timing, tries jumping away from it, but luckily the movement's just enough, and a jumping op swing is how Vix is going to be able to just shut that down. What a great attempt here for Burger Boys.
And Vix, again, placed themselves as equals with Burger Boys, and I think they treated them as such into that clutch moment, right? Until you knew there basically wasn't going to be enough time, you didn't take the one-on-one, and then you won it as well, because you do want to dash your operator players' confidence, right? That's how you keep them in a box, you keep them down and out. But this is a team. What did I just say? They came back from a 3-9, they came back from an 7-11. Like, even when they are down very, very far, they can still turn things around. Not with this economy, though. Not when you just invest in some ultimates. But what I think they need to do first and foremost, address your mid control. It has become lethal at this point, even worse than the last Icebox we casted.
Yeah, the buys they have right now looks like they just came back from 7-11. I mean, what we got now is going to be Util dumped onto A, trying to find themselves. But look at that dip. Able to grab Matt. No longer will we see a Viper for defense. And that's going to really shut down the B site. And that's why we're going to see an immediate rotation.
There we go. Again, that form of respect, right? But this time, it looks like the rotation, first off, Alvin gets a pick. Second, it looks like they're trying to get ahead of it, not respect it, and play retake, which is going to be huge here because they want to probably prevent that Viper's pick. Even if they're low HP, they're not the one planting. And now you're getting shredded too, Benji.
Yeah, with the util that's still remaining, getting that plant down without a Sage wall here is not going to be easy. They spot the bomb carrier. They know now they have to play time. With 45 seconds remaining, it's going to be a lot more back and forth here. They have an option of going A right now, but it's going to pass in the next 5 seconds, and it looks like they're sticking it out. They want to re-hit B.
I mean, you got the Null command, right? The issue is, again, this is a eco round for the side of Burger Boys. So you don't want to use more than you have to for Northwood. You don't want to use this round. So we're going to have best half of that picture. Again, this is just that there isn't any utility, right, to deny the plan. That's exactly what happens. Benji gets safe passes. They rip both of them. Again, the showcasing of respect, and somehow Burger Boys might still be able to walk away with the dub.
Yeah, you just have to find this Viper. You have to make that post plant not nearly as dangerous. But with Nanners on the Sheriff, missing those shots, it's going to be Bonnie to clean it up. And Bonnie on the top might be able to find another. It's an incredibly low Viper. And they get it! The wild shot, game sense moment. One player remaining. It's a Sova, and you're gone too. Clutched it in a thrifty against 2 ultimates there.
And I can, like, feel the frustration from Vix, right? Like, you know Bonnie's on top of yellow. You hear them jumping around, and you're like, I thought I was protecting my Viper, right? Which I said, it was a risk to have you prop the Viper's pit with dip that low HP. And we saw the repercussions. One Guardian body shot, they are eliminated. Both ults wasted, and it's still a thrifty conversion out of Burger Boys. I talked about it. You can't count this team out of a comeback, and they are starting again, 2-5. If you get like a 6-6 half here, it doesn't matter that you were down, 1-4, that you lost your third right, or your first rifle on your third round.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think that's exactly what Burger Boys wants. If we can get this to a tied half, their team composition is not double initiator. They're double duelist. They want to find these picks and get aggressive, and that is best suited on that attacking side. So, Nanners being able to go for this orb, gets it, gets out. Wait, no, not getting out. No, okay, thank you. Walk away.
Probably just checking to see if anybody was going to follow off with the info of the suppression.
Shock dart like that.
Yeah, the follow-up was the shock dart instead, like you mentioned. Oh, I think what they wanted to do was obscure the operator here, right? When you're fighting forward like that, you don't expect the operator to be behind it. So again, they want Bonnie to get this operator opportunity. And doesn't look like they're going to be it unless you challenge the lockdown that has now been set by Benji. Thought for a second it was going to be a bit because I didn't see a follow through, but it's just a late exec. Bonnie, the bait, detained, and has synced another player as well. And that's your info initiator. That's your Sova.
Yeah. Ooh. Hopefully, we can get at least a bomb plant here. Attack, though. Look at the ultimates they have to retake this site. They have the lockdown. They have the Viper Pit. Will they invest it, or are they just going to say, okay, I got Alvin Boy on my team. We'll just shoot him in the face.
I mean, Alvin Boy was suppressed. I think you don't use the Viper's Pit on a retake. We did see a successful one. I think you maybe would invest the lockdown, but it's too late. They the dive.
Ferbsa gets 1, gets 2, but finally shut down here by Matt. And now, with that ultimate active, we do have the post plant, but Benji just not being able to track that one. Alvin Boy dries out and gets their pick. Dip tries to find another, and we will be seeing the Viper Pit to try to get the plant, but Dip doesn't care. Game sense, headshots right on through it.
It doesn't matter if this map just came back into the pool. These players know the plant positions, know the defusal spots by heart, and that is exactly why you saw that player get domed, despite the Viper's Pit getting procced. And I think what the Viper's Pit was used for the last game we saw, like on a retake like that, was to avoid what Ferbsa just did, right? I think we saw Raccoon, right, crouched below with the judge, and I mean, this time it shows why maybe the ult is used like that. Yeah. But regardless, I wish they would have invested. They did I wish they would have invested the Alvin Boy lockdown and then made that dive, right? But I think the suppression just delayed that timeline a bit too far, and they just said, we got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to put some investment down, you got to just put your whole bank into it. That's the real idea with that kind of ultimate combo. So looking at this, a little bit of a lurk over towards A here, just from, you know, don't want to get pushed on yet. They're taking it slow. It's a default here. Typical Icebox start.
Interesting thing here is after the deep space that they were trying to take off of this outro. Retro, I think they were trying to Korean around and like go under sight, but look at this. You talked about the patience, the default from Northwood gets shattered wide open by Nanners in his ultimate.
Ooh, nice, good trades here coming out. Unfortunately, losing dip for Northwood. Their main powerhouse was that Viper wall. It's gotten them so many of these B sites, and that's not an option anymore. So now it just comes down to aim, and if it's aim, the name of the game is A site.
And you see this sometimes. You leave your duelist on a lurk, your strongest mechanical player, hopefully, or ideally. See if they can find a frag, and then they re-rotate back over. If they don't, and they get A site from waltzing onto it, then you have them late playing through spawn. And if they die, then you have to kind of de-egg it. And, I mean, or you fizzle out, right? You have 30 seconds left. You're making a mad dash to this site. And now the rotation's been made as well from the Killjoy to reinforce the hold that Nanners has. Like, this is, we'll see.
Yeah, we will have to take a peek-see here as the bomb is going to get planted up. Defense, Matt, though, wants to try to get a swing. Luckily, none of the util has really hit him too much, but it's the aim that matters most, and Matt gets one. And up close, it's another one. Benji's gone. Matt's on a triple kill. Alvin Boy from the high ground, and that's nearly a flawless round by Burger Boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, right? The only player they lost, the only fight they lost was the one Nanners chose to pick, right? String the death contract along, lose the fight, unfortunately, and you stare into the camera like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. But it doesn't matter, your team. And then, I think that's what Alvin mentioned. When a player's having a bad game, they trust in their teammates to uplift them and keep the morale strong. So even if this map might not be the best, even if you're the Wheeze, the exhaustion of a comeback, they can close out series. 6-3, they're still fending this squad off of an advantage at the half. And you mentioned it, right? This is a double duelist composition. They're playing a little bit differently than I feel like it's defined. But if you can still get, I would say, an 8-4, a 7-5 with this comp, you're good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even a 9-3 is winnable when you're Burger Boys. They love to have the comeback. So let's see if they don't set themselves up for that level of effort that you're going to need. But look at this, a fight over in kitchen. Alvin Boy, Nanners is the first in the kill feed, but it's really Alvin Boy who's just battling it out and somehow losing that. Ferbsa walks away 12 HP, but they're still down. They still need to find more, and Bonnie just cleaning it up, leaving not many left. Good timing. Good timing.
Not even just good timing, but the distraction, right? From mid. You swing there, focused on you, and you get the backstab opportunity. So what started as a great pinch between the players A main and the pressure, the wall that was put up by Alvin ends in a 2v2.
Yeah, 2v2 here, but look at this. They know that there is an ISO pushing up. They don't really have the information on that Sova yet. Tuzi wants to get aggressive, but has to be with his teammate. The pop flash is perfect. Tuzi on 3. Now it's just going to be the one person flanking in all of the footsteps. You're stomping around like an elephant. That's going to be around here for Northwood.
And again, I'm questioning where the turret is instead of on Boiler here, because I think that would help them with the indications a lot. Alvin Boy at least, you know, repaired history there a little bit, won out their duel to hold down Kitchen, but you talked about it, the trades were just too clean. And after they found that A player, they didn't really respond off of it. They just went for the rotation. So now, I think we're seeing the first time out, actually, from Burger Boys. And I think this is a good time for it, like I mentioned. I said a 7-5 is probably really good for this composition. 8-4, 9-3, it's getting worse, it's getting dire, it's getting into, you know, comeback territory. And I think that's why they waited till now for the last econ cycle, the last few ultimates. And what are they going to cook up with them?
Yeah, well, right now we're taking a peek at the coach, just trying to, honestly, it looks like it's a mental game, you know, trying to get them back on in, you know, going into this game, the enemies, the Northwood side was going, oh, we're worried about every other team but yours. If I heard that and then I proceeded to get into a game, I'd be a little bit nervous when Ferbsa drops double digits in the first 5 rounds. You know, that's a little scary here. So, you know, as they really just got to think, they got to listen to each other, they got to take deep breaths here. Mental is all that matters, and usually a timeout is for that, but the game plan coming up next might just be having to actually stop holding on to that lockdown. We haven't really seen it get used much.
not wrong. And again, we saw that kind of like spirited retake without much thought. Like there's probably communication behind it. And I agree with you. I just want to see them not worry about it too much. So timeout, playing around the lockdown. I think that's a good analysis of that. What we're going to see here. Actually, my concern though is look at the old Northwood. You can't use that lockdown. And how many times have
Well, Nanners is doing what he has to do as an ISO. I mean, we saw it last time we were on Icebox, is you have to go for that fight. You need to take space on Icebox, or attack gets it for free.
And I like that they're doing that, but again, it's not having this pretty team or baiting your team. It's fine if you can get the refrags, Retro.
It's not a bait if it works, all right? If it catches the fish, it's what you got to do. And Retro with the triple kill gets a clean round on the board for Burger Boys. And they didn't even have to invest any ultimate there.
That was good, and now your null command's out. Now it's just the Sova ultimate, the Hunter's Fury, that is a threat. So, all right, you know your Sova likes to play back. So how are you going to pressure the Sova to use their ultimate early, or find them and eliminate them before they can? Because otherwise, yeah, Killjoy not going to get you very far. Aside from that, last round of the half, the bye, little constrained surprisingly for Northwood, right? They had that original win bonus, and now it's been kind of back and forth energy. And we'll see how they end.
Yeah, let's see if they are going to end this half with the number that we've all been praising, 5-7 for them. But look at the knives out. We talk about 5 knives, 1 head, 1 player each. Let's see if they can actually click on them enough. And the timing. Oh! Pixels.
Wasn't even a pixel. And the issue there is I'm pretty sure the hit was put out on the Sova, because you're usually darting, right, close pipes, and they wanted to get that Sova ult offline, like I mentioned. You'll take the KO any day of the week, I'm sure. No more flashes to worry about. And now you've even forced the repivot towards the B site, but I now have to see again, what's the late round for Burger Boys? Because we've seen them have an advantage. We've seen them have the first blood. And very much unlike the last Icebox, it usually crumbles in the last few stages of the round.
Absolutely, and both of these Jets are wanting some more. They both have popped the knives. I mean, it's last round. There's no reason not to. I need to see Alvin Boy's ult. If he gets picked off before that lockdown hits the ground, we're going to be having a problem here. And Alvin Boy might not have the timing. Don't get dipped by dip, but look at the timing. It's going to be 1 pick down on a Retro. The knives are still out. Verbsa gets aggro, and Snowman is where death happens. Dip gets Alvin Boy. He held on to his ult too long, and it's up to Bonnie to make it a 2v2, keeping us online here. Let's see if they got it, as we do have the post-plant ult with the Hunter's Fury.
And what did we say? Nanners, 75% first blood rate, 45-ish clutch. We haven't got to see them in a situation where they are one of the last players standing. They use the Hunter's Fury so early here. There's a window of opportunity for Burger Boys.
Yeah, the window of opportunity just got closed on their fingers with Ferbs' double kill. 4K in total. Welcome to the half, where it is an 8-4 score line. That's the kind of game plan that I was not anticipating here. This is a big play by Northwood.
And that is the exact reason as well that, you know, I was highlighting Ferbs, that Joey was highlighting Ferbs. Like, every map, they were the MVP for this team in their matchup against Prosperity Esports. So, not surprising at all. And, I mean, if we talk about who jet diffed, the first shot, clean for Bonnie, right? Like, pixel perfect. That, overall, the 4-piece, though, trumps it all.
Yeah, and, you know, we talked about the first blood stat of 74%. The one thing we haven't seen is our OG Nanners clutches. We haven't seen a single one of them. And now that they're on attack, post-plant positioning, that's why it's 50%. It's every attack round is what he gets. So Ferbs perfectly times it, doesn't get hit by the recon.
And this is the difference, the confidence to go this deep. I think the furthest we saw Nanners go, right, was pipes. They didn't breach that threshold. And, I mean, the difference is your jet can get out, right? And we never saw that from Bonnie either. So this space reclaimed, but it took a lot of utility. It took shock darts. It took a lot of recon. And now, I mean, a lot pinged out by the 0 point. A lot of players here for Northwood. How does it fan out?
It's a good question. Lots of util here trying to be burned up. Maybe some early damage, but the problem with all of these shock darts being tossed is they're not going to really have them for either retake or post-plant, but are we even going to see a plant? These guys are taking it extra slow. They know that there's at least a Silva and a Jet nearby, but look at that flashbang, perfect here. Verbs good for 1, but Bonnie again, the high ground master. Every single time, Obi-Wan Kenobi style. Now, only 2 players left.
Sorry, I said that, you know, Verbs ejected you with the knives last half. Great entry, also very pedal to the metal after that initial peak from Verbs, confidently trying to shut down any early A main space claimage. And now, I mean, you've gotten the spike down, you've fallen off. This is, again, showing respect for each other in how they play this map. Matt?
Clean, and that's Benji getting Alvin Boy yet again, but Bonnie to finish it off with their pistol round 4K. It's the Jets in this game that I'm watching fly overhead. This is exactly what we want to be looking at.
When Bonnie's online, it's a good day. It's a good game here for Burger Boys. And if they can get the blood pumping on this half, you know, we said we had expectations from them with the operator, but when you lose the 4 rounds in a row, right, like they did at the start of the half, it definitely becomes difficult. And now, you know, I mean, what is this? Double Marshall feels like a meta choice. And I'm curious to see how it's going to fare for this squad.
Yeah, double Marshall, honestly, it's just old school Outlaw. Welcome back to, what, right before Outlaw came out and changed the game slightly?
Yeah, I think this is the map it definitely shines the most on, but we only saw it that 1 round. And Ferbs definitely ran at the distance, don't get me wrong here, but this is one form of an eco strat. You silently stack a site. You don't valiantly say, there's 4 people running it down A. You spring the trap and hope your prey will walk right into it.
Let's see if they can. We have one player now pushing up belt with that Marshall, as you said, but Ferbs the Sheriff. This is a looming threat for our teams here. But Bonnie going with the big guns, the Phantom, to really show up. They're checking everything. But with a minute left on the clock here, Zoe, they have to start swinging something. The shots are fired to bait someone, but look at Matt lurking over on B, but they're going to still execute A. They don't have any information, but who needs info when you have aim?
I mean, when there's this many players on the site, you kind of need info. There it is in the last few seconds. Dip shuts down the Phantom user, but it's in an unrecoverable position. 30 seconds left and counting. 2 players here. Still leaning towards Burger Boys. But are they getting cold feet? Are they going to go B with 30 seconds left? There's no way.
It depends on the shot, and Matt gets it.
It doesn't matter. There's no time to go there.
There is no time. And now there's no real player threat except for Dip, and Dip is done with a second round taken. Pretty dang solid here, and I wish I can hear their comms, to be honest with you.
I mean, I think that they definitely would be some swingers. I mean, the Northwood one especially, right? The flashes, like I mentioned, have been on point the most, I would say, out of 2Z. I think like we've seen some pretty clean retakes as well in the last half to get to that 8-4 from Burger Boys, but you got rifles online there too. What does that mean?
Well, it means somebody's going to have to be really locking in the IGL department, so let's have a listen in with Burger Boys with these weapons.
Revealing area.
They have to be darted mid. They have to be darted mid.
Nothing there. KO might be holding a flash.
Put it over down.
Yeah,
Flash time mid. Flash time
That's
mid.
2 mid, 1 B.
And one dash.
That's just okay.
Silver screen. There's only 1 site max.
Scale and
killing
go right, go right, come right, come right, come right.
It's 2. Well, could be 1 site still, actually.
I'm mollied Raptor. Mollied Raptor. 2 swinging backside. 2 swinging. I'm 1.
Dead.
Raptor, Raptor.
Jet Raptor. Jet Raptor dead.
That flank. 1v5. 1v5. Boney, go kill.
Go right.
Raptor,
I'm playing bomb. I'm 1. I'm playing bomb. I'm 1 HP.
Yeah, Matt's 1.
What do you wall?
I'm holding your right.
It's not
I
your
have
wall.
nothing.
Okay,
I have
it's fine.
20.
It's fine. I'm gonna
I have
drop
your
my
right.
left
I
and
have your
2.
right.
Actually, I'm just gonna. Yeah, am I right? Hard?
Yeah, hard.
Left.
He could go on top.
Nice.
I was gonna say he can go on top,
2
but
free.
I handle it.
He handled it, bro.
2 free. My quiver is never full.
All right, and we've uncovered the mystery. They're not a comeback team. They're a second half team. Like, I mean, when you're hitting shots like that on a bonus, when you've literally gone like from getting, you know, 0-3 to 3-0ing at the start of a half, like, it's looking good. And we said, you know, the double duelist is going to thrive in this environment, but everyone's just coordinated to a T. I don't think it's the double duelist that's winning them these rounds.
I think it's really the weapon choice. You know, we highlighted the Marshall, the Sheriff. These guys are just eco-frags demons. That's what they like to do. But what it do with an ultimate already popped here in round number 4 of this half. Bonnie, let's see what these knives can do. But I'm also looking over at just a very slow round, waiting for someone to peek, and they find a little fight, little skirmish in mid.
Yeah, I mean, when you get 4 kills on the pistol, you can pop the Blade Storm for sure. Speaking of searching for kills, Dip toying with death. Trapped in a corner, so finally the shock darts, I think, were meant as a punishment. But they were worried about a reswing from the left side, which very rightly so, for with the tailwind was active. And so Dip, able to retreat. Now you know they have a stinger at minimum here, which I think is why there's the hesitancy to follow through and scale up B, and why there's this kind of stalemate in spawn.
Yeah, now Furbsa, again, the looming Sheriff, this time not going to find their shots, but they still have their teammate with them for the first time in a long time, and they have lost both of them. Retro, God, you just love being in that kill feed here for us, and now the bomb will be able to get planted unless a Sova and KO combo nade style is it going to be able to slow it down, but no, they don't use none of that util. They instead wait for the wall to drop, and let's see if they can drop some players as Bonnie, looking for someone. Snowman manages to find a pick. Now with only 2 players left, you have the lurking, again, it's Alvin Boy versus Benji in this kill feed every single time, but this time it's Alvin Boy to finish it off. Vix, last player, stuck in kitchen. Let's see what he can cook up with the Sheriff.
I mean, the Killjoy look is creeping up, about to clear through Snowball. And I mean, aim labs it up, Vix. All right, 1, 2, make it an ace. You've got the weapon recovered. You've got almost full utility. But I think the one thing working against you here is Father Time. Sticking away, you gotta save the weapon, you gotta do some damage. And they have definitely done that early in the half to Burger Boys in the terms of the economic development after winning 3 rounds.
I think honestly, Bonnie's happy to be taken out there with the Bucky in hand. They want to be able to have an excuse to buy a new gun, walk into that round with a Bucky. I mean, if you manage to pull it off, which Bonnie likes that high ground, just aerial action, but I don't think we're going to see that. Instead, we're going to be seeing a hopeful timeout being called right now, and now with this timeout called by the defense, Northwood is kind of on their toes right here. They had a very solid build up in that first half, and realizing now Burger Boys bites back.
No, for sure. I talked about how, okay, I want the double duelist, I want you to have each other's backs, I want you to fight forward. Ferguson's been kind of doing that alone, minus last round we had that kind of pseudo-coordination with Dip on the eco, and I think that's what's being punished here just a little bit. It's definitely like every round I'm a bit worried when I see the timer ticking as low as it is for Burger Boys. But first off, we saw Northwood with like 30 seconds in spawn make a successful plant on the B site. So at this point, it's like they're getting punished. I think they need to just wait for the side of Burger Boys to make a move.
Yeah, and they got to make a move, all right? It's prom night. Make a move already. It's time to see what you guys are going to be able to do as the timeout slowly dwindling away, and our buys are going to come out here. Taking a look at the resources that defense is going to be walking in here with, it's really just rifles. You know, they might be a couple picks away from getting an ultimate here on Vix and
Double
Benji,
op?
but nah, just single op here.
No, look, it's double.
Oh, no. Oh, on one team. Okay, no.
No, but
in
there's
the
two
lobby, there are
ops.
2 ops to see who
This
has
is
the better
crazy.
sniper. I think. Who do you think's the better sniper? Let's find out.
I feel
Furbsa?
like Bonnie, just when you're opping this many rounds, it matters. But Furbsa, I mean, you were the one with the outlaw that was lethal, and now, I mean, I was expecting you to get like the fair duel with Bonnie, but if they pass like ships in the night, I'm gonna be a little sad.
Yeah, little ships in the night here for us, but I'm taking a peek here. Spike grounded and the default beginning. Minute 15 seconds is going to turn into 45 seconds real fast with the way that this team just likes to chill.
And again, that was my thought process for Northwood, and I'm hoping that's what Coach Joe pointed out, is that like Burger Boys, they're waiting for a mistake from us to punish, and then they speed up. Versus if we hold positions we're confident in, they can't go anywhere. And so again, wait for Burger Boys to make the first move. My concern though is that move could come in the form of Hunter Fury, and then all of this gets distracted.
Oh, trying to corner check Furbsa. Yeah, that's what happens there. He does not care. Bullet right to the torso. Bonnie hears the op and wants to kind of challenge it here. I think this is the battle of the oppers, and a proper fight will have to break out soon. We got 30 seconds left, Zobi. The time is ticking, and Bonnie
30 seconds.
dropping the op and wants to just go on in, but can the entry against Furbs' op?
I mean, what's difficult here is that you don't have any info, right? Your Sova falls, you're running a double duelist, you just gotta take the duels, help you win them, but, I mean, Alvin's here, has found an opening kill, and that's your Sentinel.
Enemy kill.
Yeah, and there's the wall that is Ferbsa, getting Bonnie down with a click, but with the bomb having to get planted here, Matt's taking a hell of damage, and Alvin Boy protects his teammate, keeping them alive in this 2v2. Ferbsa still just slowly walking around these corners. Alvin Boy is walking up the skill feed, all the scoreboards for him, but it's now just classic in hand, low versus low. Who's going to be able to get their picks down? Pops some knives here, and will they get the flick? This is a lot on Ferbsa's shoulders, and Alvin Boy just burned all of the knives. Bomb is going to get tapped. Timing in the favor of Ferbs. So what a play! That is how we do it.
And look at that grin. They know they did it. And I mean,
That's an ace.
I can't even say I feared the Ferbs the op, right? Because I mean that wasn't even a jumping from Retro. They just swung confidently, thinking nobody was there. And I fear more the classic at this
I mean,
point.
hey,
Oh my goodness.
it's a free gun, by the way, and it looks like a free round there for Ferbs. Just the confidence, the aggro, popping the knives was a little bit bold there, but they managed to make it work in the end.
And I think that's, again, you're coming out of a timeout. You want the momentum shift, right? No matter what. And that's exactly what they were able to achieve. Now, off of that death, Alvin Boy gets the lockdown online. Maybe we'll see it this half, right? I mean, the difficulty here again is it's like a game of chicken. Who uses their ult first? Because look what's online. The Sova ult from Northwood here yet again.
Actually,
Vix, and that's what's stopping them usually.
Zoe, we're looking at mirrored ultimates here, so well,
Now you can use it!
now you can use it. I mean, or you can lose it. Look at that, the counter pick. Retro just got absolutely robbed there from a solid Hunter's Fury. But Nanners still online, still ready to show what they can do. We haven't seen much from him here. It's been really a jet battle, and I need to see our second duelist in this match wanting to really start up strong, but Ferbs, he's the only jet allowed in the kill feed right now.
They walk onto the site, but it feels like Northwood let them. They had the counter ready because the Hunter's Fury found the opposing Sova, and they just set full force, full swing.
Able to get a pick like that. The Venn diagram of death is cooking up big, and they just sit in it and take out everyone. All of the KJs, all of the util, all the only one we didn't see was because Retro was taken out.
You know, I don't want to give too much credit to a team, like too much for planning, but if they somehow knew that by using the Hunter's Fury early, they could bait this team into execing on A, and that's why they had 4 players there. That's why they had the Killjoy lockdown ready in screens. I'd be impressed. I think the idea to use a Killjoy lockdown was because they found, obviously, Vix was able to find Retro. If they didn't, I still think they had the 4 stack on that site to play retake there. So that was just like a mind read and a half, and they played it beautifully. So beating them to double digits, using this timeout and Coach Joe's wisdom to reground, recenter, and rebound here.
Yeah, and they are going to be re-hitting A. It's the same site, but this time there's not 2 ultimates to get in their way. They want to touch up on this site. And with the spike in hand, if they manage to get into post plant, they still have the Hunter's Fury. And Tuzi looking to find an opening.
Yeah, they're also one off the null, man. So they're looking for a kill. That'd be a great retake tool here. This time they're respecting the side take yet again. Maybe that's something else Coach Joe said was, again, wait for them to take side, play retake because we're losing advantage early. Vix, though, continuity. You know, Snake Bite's not enough to stop the plant, but a Shock Dart combo with it is.
It almost took out Nanners, too. That was almost a double kill with the util combo. Spike will get planted here for us as everyone is looking for this next fight. We still have the Hunter's Fury, but it's not positioned here to really find too much value. It's going to now get repositioned as Bonnie's repositioning Benji's face, and there's the Hunter's Fury. Takes out Dip, another one here, and another one for Bonnie. And Alvin Boy, Bonnie, they're in the kill feed. They're working together, and 3 players left standing is beneficial for that economy.
And again, this isn't a team that's just going to let you take a timeout and just run away with the game. So, again, that's just kind of a momentum bump. They are starting to gear up here yet again. I mean, look at this. They replaced 2 strong exec ultimates with Hunter's Fury and the Killjoy Lockdown with 2 others, the Blaze Storm and the Kill Contract. Now, they have things on the side of Northwood to shut down that kind of play style. No command, the Viper's Pit. And I'm hoping that what we're going to see is, yeah, look, Viper set up to Dip's going to drop it off rip to try and funnel these players towards mid and towards that B site.
Yeah, now towards this site, we are going to look at Ferbsa, who wants to get aggressive. Benji right on through the smoke, and that's Ferbsa's execution of Alvin Boy. Ferbsa now looking for another, and it's going to be a swing and a hit from Retro out of the park with that one. Matt grouping up with their team. They know they have to take out this KO. It's going to be a real problem, but you look at Vix just cutting off their team. The bomb's still,
They're
Spike
distracting.
still cut, but oh, Bonnie.
Vix knows.
They know about it though, and Bonnie doesn't care.
One
If they know, they get the
remaining.
2-for-1 combo. It's just dip on that Spike, and that's 1 pick. And that's 2, but it's Bonnie to keep it real with our another triple kill. The multi-kills we're seeing today, Zobi.
Okay, so Northwood's plan works. They shoo the players away towards the stack in mid, and then Burger Boyz just dismantles it. Not only that, but with players at each part of the map. 1 deep kitchen, 1 tube, and 1 wrapping through spawn to boiler, they are able to line up a triple, crossfire. So even though, like you mentioned, we get 2 insane kills, it's still not enough, and somebody gets the final frag, and you both get to double digits.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching a game of chess right now, except one team is a few moves ahead. But doesn't mean that their opening wasn't solid. But look at this, though. Nanners pops theirs, drops down just in time, but we've got Ferbsa, which means it's going to be tough, but Nanners finally taking it. And because it was Ferbsa, no one can push his body. Freer than free.
And, I mean, you can't hold on to that body anyways, right? Like, you didn't have weapons in that situation. It's an eco. And speaking of eco weapons, dip with the stinger.
Ooh, that's 1, but looks away a little bit quick here. 180s and 6 bullets trying to find theirs. Luckily gets the reload. Alvin Boy classicking up, and there is the crossfire. The flank from Vix allowing for 2 picks, and now there's only a 2v2. There's so many weapons in this room. Vix is tempted, and he gets punished for trying to get close to him.
Let's play a game. Where's Benji? They are behind you. And I think, yeah, look at this. They want no part of it. Heading towards the A site, trying to avoid utter disaster, what will be a thrifty lead reclamation from Northwood here. The difficulty with this decision is I'm guessing Benji has recovered a weapon for this retake.
30 seconds left.
Basically going to be a fair 1v2, unless you hit the
planted.
Viper's pit.
Yeah, just at this stage in the game, you have to lock it down to guarantee these rounds. But is the round guaranteed, or are they going to get executed here?
No way.
Benji, timing. Oh my god,
He knows.
Benji.
He just knows.
Hello! That's a shot in the head. Oh my goodness, and now it's a 1v1. Benji not taking any more damage from that first altercation. Now has to manage to clutch it against anybody but Bonnie. This is gonna be tough. Ooh, bomb now tapped. He's still running around trying to get on this, but Bonnie, hello. That's the round, and 11-10. The score going in the favor of Burger Boyz.
From playing Where's Benji to peek-a-boo for the round.
Peek-a-Bonnie.
What probably is the most pivotal round here as well, in my mind, unless Northwood wins their buy round, because that would have been the turning point for Northwood. And I think that's why Coach Joe is stepping in, because the mental after that round, after you had such a successful rebound after losing Ferbsa, and coming that close is utterly insane. This is the first time that they've lost the lead since that 8-4. So we saw like 2 rounds I think they won after that timeout. How do they expand that? I mean, I guess 2 rounds will get you to overtime, but they want to avoid it.
Yeah, and here's Joe. I mean, honestly, just keeping energy high for their team, nodding, needing to make sure that their game plan locks in for this game. Because right now, you're seeing a little bit of panic here. We're looking up strats now.
I was about to say Burger Boyz ain't stressed. That's Bear Cream, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
They look up off, they're like, wait, who?
Yeah.
Bro's here for an emotional support on the coach role. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean,
But
Burger Boyz.
I don't think they need to fix anything right now. Like other than not getting caught off by a pinch play on a thrifty, right?
I mean, here's the thing. It's all about the recovery that they're able to do. They put a lot of faith into the clutchers on their team. Nanners and Bonnie. They are here with the stats to say, I can clutch it. As long as we know bombs down, my teammate that I trust is on that site, GG's go next. That's the level of confidence that their team's going for. But it's time to see that confidence continue and not let Northwood get any more rounds.
Yeah, and if the lockdown from Alvin Boy was the ult we set on for the half, I think the no command from Northwood is this half, right? I mean, we haven't really got to see it procced in a good enough fashion, like the opportune time, and it feels like I'm itching to see it get invested here. Maybe that's what, again, we're planning around, because at this point, right, you lose this round, you don't have a bye, it's map point for Burger Boyz, and suddenly this map's over.
Well, unless they get a thrifty, but let's see if they get it now, as we do have high ground king Bonnie trying to just find their opener. And honestly, you have to give them the sight. Try to just burn through Util with a minute left. You have Alvin Boy's lurk. It's always a killjoy somewhere behind you. And now, will we be seeing them execute?
I mean, they're worried about any utility, right? Like, that is the name of the game. And that's exactly what Alvin Boy is there for, to take all of this potential off the table. And funny as well, I like that they didn't push forward. I like that they're an eye in the sky because it is all working.
Yeah, all working. And now being this just complete beacon of hope for their team on the high ground, they will drop. And then they drop some picks with Nanners. Oh my God, nearly a triple, but Bonnie still wants to get theirs. Flawless for Burger Boys after a Coach Joe timeout. These guys are starting to read them books.
I mean, that's why American was lounging, right?
Yeah,
Like, they
I'm
knew
not
what was
worried.
coming, yeah. And at this point, oh my gosh, if you are Northwood, no weapons, you almost won a Thrifty 2 rounds ago off of Dip's heroics with the Stinger, off of Vix having insane timing and coordination and just awareness to push through spawn as well. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, pretty insane here for these players to just learn. I mean, it's usually the collegiate team that knows how to learn something, but now it's Benji teaching with the double down, exactly what you want from a Guardian KJ. And it's time to really just lock this in. You can hear them over on the stage. They're getting excited, and it's time to find a push. Alvin Boy sneaking past that knife. Might be able to find it.
It's just these Viper Wall cycles you've got to work around. Utility not really followed through upon. Starting to whittle away the defenses here for Northwood. But again, you need that opening, and someone has to provide it when both of your tools are on.
What a shot from Retro, but Benji's still cooking. Benji wants to ace this, and now Alvin Boy has to stop it in a somehow 1v3 to end out the game. It's gonna be Vix who steals it, cold as a fridge.
And one more round until overtime is achieved for Northwood. They got past the hardest round, what was going to be that half buy, that forced buy. Now, I mean, both with weaponry on the table. The ult advantage actually on Northwood's side here as well. It's questionable. Alvin Boy with the operator too is gonna be spicy, right? This feels like, okay, now we know that like Bonnie can like have entry potential. Alvin Boy, we've seen them lurking mid, so maybe that's just to give them the advantage in some of those duels. Let's see how it flushes out for the last round.
Yeah, well, we have to use our ultimates here, and Northwood's sitting on 3 of them. And if Northwood just says, all right, 1 null command, retake, set. We have seen a lot of value from a Hunter's Fury incredibly early into these rounds, but this time they're holding on to any more info. And look at this. You talk about holding on. These guys are still in spawn.
I mean, this is what Burger Boys has been doing, though, right? And the difference is that Northwood's been letting them, right? They're just playing off-site. They're playing safe so they don't make those mistakes. Because we've seen what happens when they find the first blood on the side of Burger Boys. They speed up, they get the site, and then your retake is a lot weaker.
Yeah, and let's see if they're going to be weak at the knees. Just getting these picks, trying to find some opener, and oh my, look at Dip. Dip is right around that corner. Yellow, definitely not cowardly though. Alvin Boy will punish him for that swing, but here's the Hunter's Fury. Immediately popped up, but Vix, will you find any damage? The answer is no, even with everybody suppressed, but the timer is not on their side. 30 seconds is remaining, and now the null command to stall even more, and then the next stall is gonna be that lockdown. If you are Burger Boys, you have to execute this.
Yeah, you used that Hunter's Fury already, and now Alvin Boy has utilized their lockdown as well. It's a Venn diagram this time of
All the misses.
map death, and all the frags are going Northwood's way. So you talked about timing. Furbs up. That.
One player's detained, but they have to get the bomb plant. You have to touch the site. Nanners has to be protected here.
There's time.
And there's so many people swinging him. Nanners sticks it. Nanners has the bomb down 1v3. This is the clutch king, but they're stacked up against him, and that's going to take us to overtime.
Oh, our first overtime on broadcast, minus the little, haven in the group stage.
So the second?
That's a tech one, though. That was like, not official, The first playoffs overtime we've had on broadcast.
Well, if you've been watching ever since then, thank you for being with us here. And honestly, I cannot believe that we are in overtime on Icebox. These two teams, neck and neck. I'm thinking we're going to go to a 2-1 series.
Early, bold call. like it. This is kind of, again, the gamble of, okay, you pick into Icebox, you don't know what to expect from the other team this early into the map pool change. And I think this is what you were hoping for, was a close game, but a win. And this was also Northwood's pick, right? So the fact that they're struggling to close out here, and again, we talked about that comeback mentality here, says volumes. And also the fact that it was Burger Boyz 13-11, 13-11 against Whitey's Infinity. So they usually take it to the finish line and then avoid overtime. So Northwood is pushing them even further past the boundaries.
Yeah, even further beyond. And now, with it being OT, the biggest thing that has been a struggle for either of these teams is just not having enough money for rifles. That's not a problem anymore. So the question really boils down to, who is the better team mechanically? Who just has the aim with these Vandals? Who's going to be able to execute these? And if it's Ferbsa who wants to start us off, we're going to see that soon.
I mean, they are leading the pack here. Matt, again, we talked about how they can play so forward. I actually think they took that out of the Northwood book here a little bit too. And then they know this time when to disengage. And you also have the difference of, okay, it's not just going to be this Viper and Killjoy leaning B. We're also going to sprinkle a Sova into the mix. Talked about the shock darts, the denial. The early drone here is going to also allow the double duelist to fully commit to the rotation, because I think you saw 4.
Yeah, you saw a lot of people with that drone, and Ferbsa wanting to get their team on. We talk about the timing on B site, how it just eats away that clock. Feels like we're playing Ascent right now with how everything comes down to the wire. But with, of course, all of Burger Boyz set up for the defense. The shock dart's already being used. Wait, attack, uncharacteristic aggro, but look at this. They're punished for it until the trades come on up, and now it's just going to be Nanners here. Double tap active, but the armor's already gone. Spike on the ground. Vix. One, oh! So close for Vix.
I don't know what was closer, the transfer landing or the time between
Switching
the
sides.
shot hitting Nanners and the
Match
shield
point.
double tap getting popped. Because the shield wasn't broken. It was hit after they did the damage to get them down to 5 HP. And just the fact that they were able to stay alive long enough that their players could close out the round. I mean, you talked about how you thought like weapon economy was the biggest obstacle here. It was just the mismatch of ult cycles. I think that was the biggest enemy for Burger Boyz. And now you remove that in an overtime environment. And I think we're starting to see that they may be the more patient, the more well-rounded team. And we'll see if that gets proved here in the possible last round.
Ooh, oh my god, the timing. Ferbsa immediately getting the first blood in this round. They want to lock this out, but they have to do it if they want to get us to double OT. Dip is stuck underneath. And is he going to get punished? He is. Alvin Boy rushes the stage, getting another one down. Nanners keeping it real with the duelist damage. And now 2 players left again. Vix, it's going to have to be you to clutch it again. Nanners plants, walks away, and Vix, it's time to shine. This time joined neck and neck with their teammate.
Here we go. You have 2 seconds for your dart. Not going to use it, just trying to punish the players. Jump peeking for info. Hand in hand, here we go. The trades come through, it's all
the
down to Vix.
crossfire. No, it's over. Burger Boyz ending the overtime incredibly clean as butter. I mean, Zobi, I cannot say that that was not close at all. That was insanely just back and forth. Shoutouts to Ferbsa.
I mean, at this point, like, I think it was during that sit-down interview, Alvin Boy was like, yeah, it was a little jarring. I didn't expect to be playing comebacks that often. Well, now you added a 3rd in a row, right? 8-4 here into overtime, into a victory on your opponent's map pick. And, I mean, both of these teams, again, were adjusting really, really well to each other, but still had such different approaches, right? Like, I mean, I think the best things I saw from Northwood was the changes out of timeouts, right, that came. And I think, I'm wondering if like a map like Haven or a map like Lotus is going to punish this slower playstyle from Burger Boyz.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think if you're Northwood, first off, they had a slow aggression here outside because every single time they just took a deep breath and waited for someone to make a move, they executed Nanners. But now, in that overtime, Nanners was the playmaker to end out those big fights. So it does come down to you just have to play into receiving this team, and you will be able to do a ton of damage. But as we are looking at this replay, I gotta say, quick question for Zobi. What do you think the best play that we gotta see here was?
I'm still like ingrained in my mind the Jet Knives round where we open it up with a pixel perfect kill from Bonnie, and then it ends with a Ferbs of 4K with the Blaze Storm instead. Like, that was a turning point round. And I think mentality-wise, the Thrifty round that was actually lost when both teams were double digits, that Northwood almost achieved off of diff with the Stinger and Garage, and then Coach Joe takes the timeout after that. I think those are moments you're going to look back and say, okay, this is what we did well. Let's shake this off and move on to Lotus, which is a map we know how to play, even if it's our opponent's pick.
Yeah, I mean, right now, getting into our next map, though, we're back to collegiate style. So I'm thinking that a map like Haven and Lotus will be where Northwood has the most amount of focus. I mean, it's going to be scary, even if they didn't want to lock it in.
I mean, okay, went to overtime. Both players dropping 30. We can't just gloss over the stats here. It was insane. And you said it, Lotus and Haven are our collegiate specials map. So what better than a collegiate student to bring back into the desk? Joey, you were hanging out with the players, you know, watching from the balcony. What were the vibes like in the arena? And how did it look from a spectator POV?
I mean, it was just incredible. Everybody down there is just so focused on what's going on stage. I mean, this is like an opportunity that like everybody wants to like be a part of and just watch. So everybody's just like hyped, locked in, trying to see what's going on down there.
Perfect. Well, since we have you back on the desk, we are going to be sending it to a short break. And when we get back, it's going to be a collegiate level, even better than collegiate level. It's going to be the best level ever of a post-game analysis. See you soon.
Savage little baby and Fenty, baddest little baby of the century. Internet blow up, superstar don't touch. Showing off close in a frenzy, she leaving imprint in your memory. Energy focus, superstar glow up, superstar glow up. Fit drip so sick, man I'm all throw up. Take it in, don't rush, need 10 hours sleep, yeah just woke up. Blessings on messenger keep coming on at me high speed. Check out the deposit them in like it's Nike. Hottest headline or the festival, 100 racks for a piece of my schedule. They all thought I was delusional, but I'm a manifesto of miracles. Best dress, I'm on the list on the internet, upload a clip and hit me a lick. Oh my god, I'm so rich, couple million just off of the clicks. Savage little baby and Fenty, baddest little baby of the century. Internet blow up, superstar don't touch. Showing off close in a frenzy, she leaving imprint in your memory. Energy focus, superstar glow up. Light, shine, bright, superstar illuminate through the night. Yeah, light, shine, bright, superstar, yeah, she one of a kind. Baby be shining bright like a diamond. Meditate daily, baby enlightened, baby make racks, baby spend cash, baby go get it and she don't gotta ask. Baby gon' run it up like an athlete, plays gold at the track meet. At the stadium show going super hard, cause baby a superstar. Just bought a crib out of lake, off of the grid and out of LA. Spirit awake, life is amazing, don't waste a day. Learn from the L's and mistakes. Baby so glowed up, baby focused, got my eyes on me. Baby made so much, feeling generous, 6 figs in a week. Savage little baby and Fenty, baddest little baby of the century. Internet blow up, superstar don't touch. Showing off close in a frenzy, she leaving imprint in your memory. Energy focus, superstar glow up. Light, shine, bright, superstar illuminate through the night. Yeah, light, shine, bright, superstar, yeah she one of a kind.
Alrighty, and welcome back, everybody. My name is Edu here. After an insane game, I am yet still joined by my wonderful co-caster Zobi and our analyst of the day, Joey FPS, for our post-game analysis. So, that map, Icebox. Joey, I gotta know, what are your thoughts? I saw you watching it on the balcony. I mean, good view?
That was exciting. You know what I mean?
And I think you were the one as well. You were like, I don't know, matches like this are sometimes one-sided, and then now it's like, yeah, it's not. Let's do it. But it's interesting because, like I said, like a Northwood collegiate special, Lotus and Haven. I thought they were gonna pick another first, right? I didn't think Icebox would be the first pick out the gate. So the fact that we're ending with them means, you know, the collegiate stands out there. Even though Northwood's down 0-1 right now against Burger Boys, there's definitely room for that then closer series of a third map.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's take a look at, honestly, the player there that everybody had their jaw on the floor for. Let's take a look at Bonnie's stats after that game. I mean, this player, Joey, have you played against Bonnie before? You haven't had the honor?
Before.
Not
No,
before. Are you afraid to?
Yeah.
But let us know, as a duelist player, what is Bonnie's main goal here for like their team? Like, especially on a map like Icebox, some duelist players dash out, get first blood, or some just sit back like Ferbsa. What exactly would you want to see more from Bonnie?
I mean, I don't know if I want to see any more from him. Like, those stats, honestly, are almost perfect, I would say. Like, 83% first blood percentage with a 1.8 KD. Like, I don't even know if you can ask any more of him. I think he just put them on his back and just took him to the promised land, honestly.
And I mean, the fact that they were doing it as well while they had another duelist at their side, right? So we talked about, okay, we expected Nanners to be that player, Bonnie's that player. So I think it goes back to, again, Alvin respecting and understanding how well-rounded this squad is, and then you trust in players like Matt, who were also really, really solid. And, I mean, map like Lotus. You said you, like, know Lotus like the back of your hand. You were reading the comps. You're like, it's going to be a Vice. It's going to be a Tejo Breach. Like, we're sure. How does that change the dynamic? Because I feel like Icebox and Lotus, like, we know Lotus and Haven play very similarly.
Yeah.
We were talking about that during the break, right?
Yeah.
But Icebox to Lotus, then, how different is this going to change?
I mean, I think they're similar, but again, they're different, right? So, like, as we were talking about with the break, you take a lot of deep space on defense, right? So you take a lot of that C long space, a lot of that A main space with all of your util. But I think if you look at the way that Burger Boys was, like, playing, especially their attack, because they didn't have that util to, like, re-clear a lot of space, they were willing to give it up and just, like, fight together after all of their util was, Northwood's util was dumped. And I think Lotus, in that regard, plays kind of similar, right? So, like, I predicted a Breach Tejo. So, in my mind, right, you fight for A main or C main with, like, the Breach Tejo, I think Burger Boys are going to play kind of similar and just be willing to give it up and just re-clear after.
And yeah, I'm curious about that, because to me then, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm like, is Burger Boys going to struggle with and fighting that deep space, or is it just going to be Northwood duking it out and winning that space when they try to fight for it initially? And the second kind of thing there is, I think then on the defensive side, I think that Northwood's actually going to do a lot better because they were consistently like getting purpose to push up, find a kill, and fall back, versus now you're just going to leave them there posted up, right? And I mean, we talked about how Icebox is kind of this operator map. I'm trying to think of like if we're going to see it here on Lotus, right? At all. I feel like it's less common, but it can still have the same impact.
Yeah, I mean, again, like with Lotus, it's so much deep space taking that you can get away with running an op. But again, people like to play hyper aggressive on Lotus, so it's a little scary sometimes when you run an op.
Yeah, I gotta ask though, you know, back onto the Icebox train here for this post game. One thing that happened a lot in that game that we actually rarely see at Fun Heifer events, and that's timeouts. And as a player for yourself, you know, Coach Joe, he's there making sure that his team keeps their head on. When Utica calls a timeout, when you want to see these timeouts getting called here, what exactly is the, you know, motive for your team's timeouts, or should a motive be for a timeout? Because some people take advantage of it if it's calling for strats, or some people just need a mental reset.
Yeah, so I think, obviously, like you said, mental reset strats, right? You talk about what you want to do, or maybe you just like, we lost 4 rounds in a row. Maybe it's just like a momentum timeout sometimes, right? 4 rounds in a row, boom, momentum timeout. We got to stall them. We got to take some time. Sometimes, honestly, if your team is like, even if you win like 8 rounds in a row or something, if you notice that your team is like beginning to like throw rounds, sometimes you can call timeout, just like, you know, rally the boys back in, be like, hey guys, like, you know, we're not done yet, but like we got to chill.
Yeah,
just kind of like a breather.
Absolutely. And now watching that game, what do you think it was their objective? Two timeouts were called by the Northwood side. What do you think their objective was in those moments?
I think it was more of just like trying to figure out what was going wrong for them, right? So they go up 8-4 on their defense half, or attack, sorry. They go up 8-4, right? Then it goes to 8-8. Now things are looking a little scary, then it's 10-10, and now things are looking even scarier, so now you want to call timeout. We got to figure out what's going on. They won 6 rounds, we won 2. We just want to see, like, what can we be changing? What are they doing that we're not adjusting to?
Well, with that, as we take a look at the venue cams, I love that the core players are watching because, like, 2 of their players, right, were on Northwood once upon a time. But with that, with the arena rooting for their favorite teams, let's go ahead and jump into our second maps, Agent Select. And look at that, Joey, you were right. There is a Tahoe breach, but I feel like
Wait,
what's taking the cake? Do you see what I see?
Northwood over on that side was called.
Very
Viper.
creative. You got your Viper.
Yeah, I did get my Viper.
But the deadlock, how do you think that plays on Lotus in particular, Joey?
I think it's really annoying.
With Benji or in general?
In general.
Okay.
Like Deadlock as a character is kind of easy to shut down if you have agents like Sova and sometimes Tahoe, but it's a lot harder with Tahoe because like you don't really want to burn the rockets for like the trips or something because they're super impactful. So I think it's just gonna be really, really annoying for them to clear that out.
Yeah, but as we are now on Lotus here, I think Deadlock gives one thing in particular that's terrifying, and that is just the A presence on attack. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining us again, Joey. It's time to get into our game. It is Burger Boys versus Northwood with Burger Boys up 1. And Joey, let me know, who do you think is going to win it? Alrighty, let's see that happen.
I mean, that was our Preds, wasn't it? Actually, who did you Pred? I said Burger Boys.
I think the reason I say Burger Boys is because, one, they're the fun havers. They are the ones who show up and play in these tournaments more than any other team. I don't want to see them go. Maybe it's my bias, but I'm a Burger Boy through and through.
I think we all were cooks in the kitchen then for this prediction. But aside from that, I mean, look at this quick entry. And now, even though Ferbs is fragmented, they've dealt with the Sentinel on site. They've grasped that control, and Niners hasn't been able to refrag it just yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. As a C-site push on pistol, definitely where you want to try to close off these corners, and we might be able to see some kind of opening, but actually, it's a rotate over, planning on B. Going the long way, Tuzi already taking high ground, and hello! That's 1 for Tuzi, 2 for Tuzi, and 2 for Tuzi means Dip gets his own, and it's just going to be the end of the round as no one can lurk up here. What a play coming out for these players.
Wow, the speed there was astounding. And I'm wondering what the comms there sound like of like, okay, leave Ferbsa on C after they found the Vice player and go B. Like, how many did you hear in Waterfall to be like, we don't want to hit the site even when that sheer wall drops? And I really liked the pivot. Even you had a Viper, right, deep into A mound, so, or sorry, into A rubble, so they were to be able to like reflank even if things went south. But Tuzi, who was quiet on Icebox, has opened things up swinging.
I think right now, again, every single time you play this map, you have to take rubble, you have to take mound if you're playing on defense. You're already down so many players, but with a shot like that from Matt, getting a pick for Northwood not to be able to entry with any info. No longer the Sova available. It's now going to be a toughie as Nanners trying to find their own aggressive play with now this time.
You have a flash.
Raise with you.
Oh, but they've been fragmented and dealt with both players. And now my concern is, yes, Vic's found 2 over towards A, but they didn't rotate. They're fighting right into this high-low. Or the bait! Alvin's dealt with, but you don't clear the corner, and as a result, you should have found 2 of your retro. But fortunately, Tuzi gets bailed out by Ferbs, and you keep 3 players alive.
Yeah, honestly, looking at these players, looking at that solid 2-0, I think this is where we do know Burger Boys says, okay, I only play good when I'm kicking these guys off, right? So I gotta know, Northwood University is a team that we actually weren't able to hear what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on in front of the screens. Let's get a little bit of a listen in here.
Yeah, we should.
I'm blind. Yeah, they flashed me.
Insta.
Where's that stun
Drone.
from? Wait, that
Hollow
stun's
drone.
from B.
Actually,
They
I'm
use
gonna
mollies
drone.
and stun,
I'm gonna
guys.
drone. I'll go for a peek if it.
One was rubble.
Clear wide. I'll try to clear rubble. One is slant. It's on side.
I can
Raised.
put wall up.
Prodding.
One could be rubble.
No.
Guardian down 3 dip.
Joining me, front B.
Holding rubble for you guys. Okay. Open tree. Care rubble, Ben. Can you clear rubble?
I put wall up. I
Yeah,
put wall up.
They have more. They have one more breach flash, guys.
Keep wall up real quick.
Dropped wall.
Nice shot, dude. Nice shot,
peek.
bro.
I'm gonna peek A wall or
Yo,
A lane.
dead ass. Dead ass. I think we end B split, guys.
Alright,
Okay.
I'm down. I'm down.
They has a dart here.
Listen. They already used drone. I'm gonna put wall up for you. Want me
I
to put wall up
tether
for you?
I can dart in. I can dart in.
here.
And you guys
Dart,
go.
I'll
Ben, can you
hold
cross? Crossman?
Yeah.
Ready? 3,
Yeah, dart.
2, 1.
Revealing area. Smoke.
In B. I'm stunned.
Nice shot,
dead.
Suzy.
One more heaven.
Yeah.
I'm a blind
They
heaven.
just
I'm blind
flashed C.
heaven.
They know nothing. Wait, ceiling.
I'll wide heaven.
Fight.
He's. I hit him. Nice.
Nice shot, Suzy.
I have her back.
Blind,
I
one
have her
behind us,
back. You're
behind
good.
us,
Can we
ceiling.
fight ceiling? Can we tap and fight? Oh, never mind.
Yes.
No.
Blind,
He
blind,
bind us. He bind us.
30 seconds.
One of you should
One
take
heaven.
heaven.
One heaven.
Carry,
Oh,
okay.
one made a step heaven.
Facing heaven.
All right, orb is
I have
down.
A link. I have A
Orb is
link.
down.
Suzy.
Orb is down. I can
That's
come
heaven.
through off you guys, but
I'm
That's
holding
about
it A link right now.
Heaven. Open.
I'm gonna orb up. Can we fight heaven, guys, soon?
He's left side heaven.
Yes, it's you.
I orbed
dropped.
up. No, that guy's ceiling.
One enemy remaining.
Face.
Through.
Nice, bitch.
shit.
Good round. Yo, Tuesday.
Welcome to
Vegas.
You're insane with that outlaw, bro.
Oh, good shit, bro.
If we
weak.
on them, they will never learn.
Scared, right? I didn't hear like, oh, the dumping of the util A. Like I was like, you're an IGL, you're trying to figure out where early pressure is to pivot off of. But then the mid called, and after they took that A main space, strong candidate through that util dump from Burger Boys, it all started coming together. They identified, okay, where key utility was used. They came up with the B split idea and they followed through beautifully. And then the micro communication that topped it all off for the fight top mid or top B was. Mwah.
Yeah, honestly, having dip on those comms, very clean on the Sova, just calling every piece of util, every piece of,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
the information getter, and he got it. Now, it's the next round, and Tuzi is going to be here with Benji to get out Matt, and now, wait a minute, it's a 5-stack, and they are getting absolutely massacred. All of the stuns, and it doesn't matter except for Bonnie, who gets 2, Alvin to get another, and they have tied it 2-2. They need to try to get some fights for these weapons, but they just swing for it, and unfortunately, you're swinging for the hills with that one. Ferbs has got an outlaw, and you are gone, but no, Bonnie. You're actually going to try it.
They second guess themselves. That's why they didn't follow through on the satchel. They pop it early. They stay safe. At this point, they're trying to separate the players, force them off the crossfire line or the outlaw line, and it just does not work. To me, great opening, great multi-duel fight. I feel like we're talking about confidence and being able to make risky plays like that. Burger Boys didn't do it as much on Icebox, right? This time they did. It worked. They got to the 2v2. But Alvin Boy, just a little too speedy, right? You get your smoke back. You don't even have to one-way it. You just smoke it off. Like, Ferbza likes to eco the outlaw. You learned that over on Icebox. So now it's a very similar start to what happened in the last map, what's happened all day for the side of Burger Boys. So now, again, fighting an uphill battle from the get-go.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that we did see 3 players fall for Northwood there. Burger Boys wanting to be able to take a round like that, definitely cleaning up some of their economy issues. But now as we have some buys, we're now pushing back into this. We do see what Deadlock is really for, and that is going to be Benji getting so much information. They want the nade combo, and ooh, Retro, lots of damage. We'll try to now scoot it back, but we've seen how Retro plays around these corners.
And they're trying to reinforce it. If you remember the pistol, right? Ferbza gets in, literally eliminates Matt off the rip. So this is what the Tejo is close for. To bait you to take the waterfall fight so the fights can stay online and get proactive. The bait off the showstopper, the flash hits, but it doesn't matter.
Wow, the fact that the wall is up and you haven't trapped Ferbza with you. Ferbza is the one that is doing the hunting there. Absolutely clean hold of a site that you have found to be your new home. And now Burger Boys has to try to do some more damage. This was their buy round, and Bonnie versus Ferbza. Bonnie is going to have to say, I cannot fight that quite yet.
And I'm sorry, but if Legion
player
Esports has
standing.
given these teams
30
anything, more so
seconds left.
Northwood, and competing in that space, it's these deadlock setups and lineups. I mean, it's only strengthening that the players are so divided on the C hold that they are struggling here. So low-key, what I want to see out of Burger Boys, because they just lost another round, is I want to see what they did on the eco, getting a rest of C-Mount off the one lane on a buy round. Just flip it. Play your Sentinel on the A side. Switch things up, especially if you're not going to take a timeout. And it looks like, I said unless you're not going to take a timeout, and it does seem that we get the timeout called by Burger Boys. I think this is because they lost that round, unlike the last.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at what we got locked on in here, are you noticing what I'm noticing? We get the fancy overlay again. We get Spectra back.
Yes. Yeah, shout out to Spectra. A new tool being developed that's like very similar to Barracks from Ryan Official Productions. I think it's definitely cool to see like full loadouts mid game with and
Yeah, API conversion.
Yeah.
It just honestly, I'm just glad that we get it here in Vegas. This is a beautiful venue. We got some of the best teams here in NA right now. And when it comes to NA Valorant events, it's really you got Funhaver or you got Challengers. That's really it.
Gotta have the best graphics to match the best teams. That is for sure here. And I mean, talking about best teams right now, Northwood's looking like they're shaping up to come back for a 1-1 scoreline if they keep this up. We said it was a collegiate special. I feel like what we're seeing kind of here is Northwood playing what they've been playing despite the meta change. And because in my mind, Burger Boyz hasn't played like against a composition like this in a while, they're struggling with it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, first off, the thing I'm noticing from Burger Boyz is their composition is all about early aggression. We haven't seen it yet. We saw it maybe on some eco rounds because they're trying to get the round down fast and do a lot of damage. But in rounds like these, you have to allow the enemy team to cut the distance so you can let those sheriffs hit the one tap. The amount of times you get a 145 with the sheriff, it really just numbs the nerves. But now it's time to see what they can do as a triple stack on A is going to get red. But look who's behind. You got Matt waiting and wait.
The difficulty there, right, was that Nanners wasn't able to destroy the drone. It sees the second player, it sees Bonnie there, and that's when the decision gets made to rotate off for Northwood. Very nicely placed. I think the drone also fell short because of the toxic screen and didn't catch any of the players that are skill scaling A. So this isn't an A end, it's another B split end here. And I mean, yeah, you don't have a sensor here, so I'm looking towards Matt and again that late round impact, but how many players are going to lose before that comes in fruition?
All the util forcing these players on to B. That's what you want. They have no Sentinel to guard their flank, but they do have a Viper. And here we go. It's going to be Vix down. Oh, what a pick here. Now a gun found here for Matt as everybody wants to get around the smoke. It fades, but who's going to join it? Dip pushing up, executed by the Sheriff. Another one, and boom, there goes Nanners with his. And now it's just going to be Tuzi who just can't hold on. And that's Burger Boyz off the timeout and on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, that was an eco round, right? There were some small mistakes. They forced it into a mid-round call, which was a good call from Northwood, but it really was that that ultimate, that Steel Garden that really flipped the script and is why Vice is so powerful on a map like this. I'm confused how Benji still had his weapon that late on to be able to take a few fights top site, but Alvin Boy putting up the Sheriff numbers. Nicely done. That's why we got their player cam here. They're going to feel confident after that one. And that's a great way to get on the board and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful start for a potential Burger Boyz comeback. But remember, they have to do it first before I call it a comeback. So don't call it a comeback. Let's see if Northwood is going to be able to answer to this. And there's that early round aggression we were loving and looking for. It will cut off his team temporarily. No damage quite dealt. And trouble. Wow. Absolutely shocked by this rolling thunder. Bonnie gets in with it, gets a pick like that, and another one for Retro. They're just executing right through the smoke. Another one down. This is the aggression you want from Burger Boyz as they leave only Benji. Oh my God!
And I think I heard like a very shallow like, oh my God, from either the audience or the stage down there from Burger Boyz about how close that just got. I mean, like, did you see that one way that was also on like Rubble? I was like, that's a counter one way. And you saw the confusion from Bonnie as well. I'm like, wait, did they just counter it? And then I also see the toxic screen. I'm like, there's no way they should be able to win this. And I mean, that even looked like one bullet that somehow killed both of them. Obviously wasn't. But Matt, again, the backstab, again, punishing the deadlock. So I talked about learning how to play against this older Lotus composition. And I think it's just adjustment period.
Yeah, I think right now there's always going to be someone in your flank, and your entire front line is going to be pushed in by the Tejo breach. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
The deadlock is all about being fast, getting those sites and setting themselves up for success. But if they wait too long, there's going to be an entire team there. And a Hunter's Fury being popped here by Northwood is going to execute the Vise. No more Sentinel to guard it.
And this is interesting. You know where the Vice is. That means there's probably a stack on the opposite side. You should be speeding up. But that's when all of this utility comes in. You got Raze, you got the Tejo stun, the special delivery, you got the breach util. It was a literal minefield. So that timeline was delayed. The players funneled back in for Burger Boyz, and they are now taking names.
Yeah. Now, Tejo ultimate as well to try to push people off of the B site. It's still going to allow the plant, but hello! Rick Benji with another two-piece here, and it's just going to be the post-plant. Wait, the bomb not actually planted. They did decide to rotate over to C. They have exactly what they need, and you tap that bomb, you're going to have a very bad headache here.
Planted. Ultimate ready.
Eagerness, yeah, punished again after an advantage is established for Burger Boys. It equates it back to a 2-on-2, and usually these tend to slip away, favoring the side of Northwood, which I think is why Nanners is being so careful alongside Bonnie. And my concern here is how low of HP these players are for the side of Burger Boys. You got to bait the lower HP player. You got to ensure that you don't necessarily get one-for-one trades. You got to keep an advantage.
My territory. My room.
Oh, and that's gonna be Benji's territory. But is it gonna be Bonnie who rules as Benji tries to swing it up? And what a shot! Crosshair placement doesn't matter with a pick like that. What a clean round there from Benji to just stop Burger Boys.
And that's why, you know, communication versus mechanics, sometimes mechanics does supersede. I mean, literally, like the strategy, right? The last round was perfect, and what does Benji do? Drop 2 insane kills. What happens there of a 2v2 clutch? It's Benji just taking the dive on the last player so they can't stick the spike defuse. So much like Icebox, Northwood beats their opposition to that 6th round. This is where Burger Boys, though, also kind of kept them off of it for a few rounds so that they did have that 8-4 half. The concern here, I mean, I don't have to say there is concern, right? This is a attack-sided comp. It's an attack-sided map. I think 8-4, again, is the minimum you need for a comeback here.
Yeah, let's see if we can find that comeback, as right now Northwood very aggressive with this team comp. I'm not sure what that Deadlock's going to quite do on the defense for him. Relative to a Vise, relative to a Tejo Breach, going to be tough, but Burger Boys has to show up with the pick with Retro grabbing Vix down like that. There goes the Viper and all of the info because of the bot. They know this has to be a C push, and they might just go for that pincer maneuver.
Ooh, well, this is the benefit of a Sova, right? No matter what center you're playing, the shock darts, destroying the thorns this time around, you trip to the wall, maybe toying with the pivot, maybe toying with the idea of just cutting noise here. Looks like the rehit's gonna come through, but so are the rotations right now for the side of Burger Boys. Last time they realized that they were set up for a retake, they dipped. They went towards an alternative site, which I think is why we didn't just have Retro pushed up. We have them holding that deep line still.
Yeah,
Not ready
still
yet.
holding.
Them.
We might see a rotate, but it's going to be right back into Retro's hands unless they decide, all right, B can be the place. But no, Retro. Retro
30
just has to have
seconds
the
left.
timing here. Oh, that completely turns around Retro. They have no idea where the Omen is, and now they use their ears, get the info, and tell their team we need a fast rotate. It's 20 seconds on the board. If you get here quick, we might be able to retake before they're fully set up.
And huge respect, right? Playing your life Retro in that situation. You give up the heroics to play for the win con, to play for numbers here. Because you know how important your salvos are for a retake. You know how important a Tejo is here. And how important numbers are. The 5v3, how can they retake?
Oh, that blind was perfect. Landed on 2 players, slowed them down, and what a TP. Tuesday in the high ground, Benji in the low. Might be able to find it, but no, it's Bonnie for the showstopper. Gets one, leaves only Dip all alone in a 1v4. Flash is too real. Bomb's gonna get defused, and Burger Boys takes the round. Dip, don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, they're not gonna get the choice. They're gonna be forced. Their hand.
Oh, he lives!
Bro tried to go for like the showboating, you know, the little barrel jiggle and then the swing, and I mean that's how you escape with the weapon, even if the round is lost. And I mean, I think again we saw Burger Boys show utter respect to Northwood there, right? Did you see the showstopper get popped even though it's a 5v3 retake? I want to say that's because Benji was alive, and Benji just gets cleared out by a rocket launcher.
I mean, a post-plant 3v5 or 3v4 is just enough for what you need to just end out the game. So I think there was no reason not to showstopper there. And Benji, no reason not to stop shooting.
That's
just
why. That
picks.
was the reason for the showstopper.
Yeah, you got it. If an ultimate can just say delete Benji from the game, that's the best agent in the entirety of Valorant esports.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference here is that Benji's in the fight from the get-go on the
Spike
deadlock. They're not
down
lurking,
A.
right? I think at the beginning they default just to set up their util, and then they're always with the team. And while there's been rounds where Matt's taken advantage of that, most of it has been, I think, the positive trade-off. Like, tipping the scale towards an advantage. I mean, 6-3 right now. And, I mean, this also strengthens the post-fight immensely. Nanners can't get through this deadlock wall.
Yeah, Nanners needed to try to get some picks there to maybe even the playing field, but with this one-way here, they know. Matt knows. But the timing, unfortunately, the aim's not there to back it up, and that's going to be the end of the round at Burger Boys. They needed that 7-5-8-4, and we're still in that direction, but they have to turn around right here, right now.
And I think the issue is, again, we talked about how it's slow rolling for this team. It has been all day, this team being Burger Boys. They already used one timeout so early, they can't use a second timeout to get them over that little bump of securing an 8-4. So you just gotta trust in the call, you just gotta trust in the team at this point. And what do you change? I mean, last time I said I wanted to see the Vice solo on A, they fought heavily into A. I wanted to see them fight into C, and I think they finally are. This is more of a trap play, right? You take the B main space to clear it, you stun, you one way. And, I mean, Northwood actually showing the patience, not fighting through it just yet, trying to sniff out what's going on here. I think that paint shell is giving it away.
Yeah, I am going to be looking over at this deadlock for Benji. Last time he had his ultimate, post-plant, guaranteed. Benji's now 2 away from getting it again. And if Benji can just get the bomb plant, we're going to be looking at 8 for the board for Northwood. But Alvin Boy aggro, executes 1, but Vix with the picks gets it traded out. And now, unfortunately here, Northwood, with all the space in the world, is just going to have to keep looking for more openings. They can't go onto a site without that advantage in people.
And the issue again with, you know, pulling out a new composition is that everyone's running it. So you can find videos really easily online, and that was a set play, right? You dismantle half of the trap, the rest falls apart, and you should be able to go back to business as usual, which is executing onto the C site. It's less threatening now. I mean, your breathing can't retreat, the wall's up, so what do you have to do, Nana? Just dive in and fight.
Here's Benji stunned out, does dodge the blind, and gets aggro here to find one, but it's gonna be Bonnie to get another one, but Benji cannot be shut down yet. Ultimate online, but you swing while reloading, and Matt punishes 2! Matt keeps it up, and that's Burger Boys' 4th round for them.
Wow, and Matt definitely coming on my multiple rounds, won by, I want to say 3 out of 4 have been even won or capped off by Matt's performance, right? You think about the flag clutch against Benji. We talk about the one round where it was the final kill. Like, it is quite literally them staying alive in late into the round is a win con, whether it's on the C site or whether it's on the B site. And I like that look for them, which is why I think they're trying to explore other alternatives on this defensive half where it isn't Matt live by the site, die by the site, solo anchoring C. So this time, look, they've split their util on B, they're gonna play off site C, you get aggressive A, and try to fight head on. It's a full-out war, Edu.
Full-out war with, oh my goodness. It's just every time they take rebel control, it is gonna be a freer than free map, and it's just Verbsa here. Now Verbsa, he dropped 30, has to drop 5, and that's gonna be the instantly delete the best player button.
And you got a better score than over on Icebox. The 7-5 on an attack-sided map like Lotus. I think this is definitely grounds for you. Win your pistol, you tie us up, and then it's anybody's game.
That's a big if, though. Pistol round for them. Here's the thing. You're looking at Northwood, and these guys are really solid on getting. They got 4 in a row at the start of this round.
Okay, on Icebox, what happened? 4 in a row? 3 in a row on the opposition when they
Well,
swapped
the
sides,
problem is that
remember?
if they get 3 in a row here, it's going to be double digits versus 4. Like,
No. Last mop on Icebox. Northwood first half, 4 rounds won. Side swap, Burger Boys, 3 rounds won.
Really
so I think it really is just the map reset, the mental reset. The second half nature, what did I say? Burger Boy and second half team, let's see if it's true.
Alrighty, I think I can agree with that. Let's get on into it. Now, looking at some of the buys here, we do have a whole lot of sheriffs, and Bonnie always go for the sheriff, no satchels, so it is going to be up to the aim here of Alvin Boy to just get the pick anyway. So yeah,
Second half team?
Second half team, more like just punishing team. If you have to be aggressive on defense, they have aggression, and that favors them every time.
And I was curious to see how this, you know, Vix, Viper, Benji deadlock was going to be played. I mean, I think the last thing I expected here was them to play split. That's exactly what's happening, and as a result, Northwood just getting pieced apart, player after player, a really infirm C-site hold, and I mean, it's a pistol, right? You're not going to have maximum utility. My concern, though, is that round scared me because I feel like your deadlock and your Viper should be like double holding C, right? That's how you play it, like when you have a Killjoy, for example, or you used to. They were using deadlock more as like a C spade with that net.
Yeah, I mean, pretty big round here, but with it being 6-7, you wanted to see that comeback. The thing is, Northwood knows how to bring these back. It's just up to Verbsa and Benji, which Benji on defense is not going to find nearly as much value as he did on attack. It's just night and day difference here for what a character's kit is offering.
And I mean, we didn't even talk about it, the deadlock rework, right? And that now being the signature wall, pretty expensive. But comeback, will it into existence, it's Burger Boy style at this point. First blood again. Vix found again. This time on the opposite side of the map. The gamble play was towards mid. You trust in your Viper to solo hold. But look at this. The sheer wall. Gonna find out. You're gonna know there's a mass flank. I'm more curious than to see what the response is, Burger Boys. You have better weapons, so it's dangerous taking deep space. Flip the map. That's what you want to do here. And as a result, they're just gonna, again, play for these players funneling out of main.
Let's see if anybody is going to be able to get the weapon difference. Can the classic come up big? We've seen Verbsa do it, and we're not going to be seeing anybody else go for it. But here's Verbsa. Sherapini gets knifed! Retro just styling on him, and that's going to be the way the cookie crumbles. The round ends.
And two things. Did we see any bot weapons that round?
Any bot weapons?
I saw Ghost, I
Sheriff.
saw Classic. Okay, but that's his pistol, yeah? I saw a knife.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
did they not buy? Are they going to buy rifles now to have a rifle versus rifle round to take the lead now? I think that's what we just saw.
well, if it's going to be a rifle versus rifle, then I got to know, what is the plan from Burger Boys? We got to just listen to them. We got to listen in.
Raise A.
We darted A
He
from
darted
B.
from
Somebody
Raise
on
A.
B.
3.
Is it center? Blinding.
My stun rifle. I use my stun for
Two
break.
doors. Just 2 doors. Just 2 doors. Yeah.
That-
Nice. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Spike down B.
Tap bomb, Moxie. Tap bomb.
Yeah, tap on Waxy, come.
3, 2.
Think. 78. Think. Nice.
Come.
Run. Run.
There was
Two
one
god.
more.
2 god. 2 god. Oh yeah. Deadlock missing. I'm just starting.
I don't see her anywhere.
There was 2 god.
One
2 coming to
coming to
run.
me.
There's 2
One-
coming. 2. It's 2.
I don't see anything. Try and come plant, maybe.
One more.
Hello.
What was the thing? Hit 70 on.
Did you see second?
Omen.
No.
Yeah.
On
Omen,
Deadlock
Omen
unknown.
there. Deadlock
Deadlock
unknown.
unknown.
Okay. I'm gonna try to plant for long a little bit. I do have bombs. We could just double long.
Okay. Get B flank.
Should be a good plant. I have bombs. Worst case.
They have smokes. They have smokes.
I have bombs. And stun.
We have a
One
thorn.
thorns again. Yeah,
Can we
one
double clear
thorns
flank?
now.
Walk a flank with me.
Yeah, hold up.
After you do.
Where?
They
Yep,
just smoke
walking
bomb.
in. Clear.
On site.
Alright, it's good.
Yeah, we're good.
I bomb tap, okay? And
Yeah,
push.
heard. I'm looking to bait you because they can see where bombs come from.
You
Might
just-
walk in.
They
No
start bomb.
time. Bombing.
I'm letting you fight.
Player
Yep,
standing.
you're good.
That's
Off,
my-
off, 100% off. But could go back on.
One enemy remaining.
I've left.
Yes!
Come on.
Good play with me. Good play with me.
Like you see how I say he's off because I'm not hitting him with the bomb.
I trusted you, bro. I trusted you.
bro.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so according to Alvin Boy, right, the last series, map 1, Nanners clutched it out. Map 2, it was Bonnie and one other player, and that wasn't themselves or Matt. And now, I mean, it's Matt and Alvin Boy coming alive this map, right? So it's literally become a complete picture where they're balancing each other out in the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and that is why they are now leading 8-7. And we were right. It was what you coined it, Pistol 2.0 into a full buy.
Yeah. I mean, having to go into rifle versus rifle this early into the game, not exactly fun to play against, but what an end. And the nade is going to come through, but it's just a little bit out of tandem. But Benji's aim is what really matters, but it's the aim of the game of Ferbsa to get these trades 3-3. No rifle is going to be able to be grabbed yet, but if they can force a rotate, that opens the playing field for some guns for them. And Northwood, they have to just go with Ferbsa. They have to find some more. Unfortunately, they're anticipating a lurk.
We didn't even talk about the gravitas of Ferbsa getting knifed, right? Like, that could be a big confidence blow as well.
That's a Twitter clip.
Yeah, like, especially like a duelist like this that you said was like dropping 30 was expected to be an X factor for this map, like, or the series. Like, if they aren't hitting, I'm glad to see that they still were able to with the Sheriff. And I was questioning, I'm like, okay, we mentioned last time it should have been a surefire win of a round. Bonnie invested the showstopper. They didn't there, even though they knew there was a mass number of players ready to fight Mound. And I think that's, again, the Northwood confidence coming out, shining, and keeping them in this as a 3-on-3 for a thrifty potential.
Well, if it wants to be a 30% potential, we
30
don't have
seconds
any
left.
weapon upgrades yet, so it does have to come down to the aim of the Sheriffs. Look at this. An entirely locked-in armory sitting rubble right now, completely off-cut from the world, but now the bomb is planted. They don't have time to go skin shopping. They don't have time to get these weapons. It's only time to shine and get some picks here, as it looks like we are looking at defense going from a B, Heaven, and Link angle.
Oh, and I don't think the drone spotted anything either, right? I love this way of playing their life, playing
ahead.
safe. Matt, again, has been clutching these post plants, so they're being able to contact the distraction. But it's another shot from Burp, so the stun comes late, the support not there. Now the toxic screen allows you to scale up. Retro,
Last player standing.
and the Breach having a free fight back in this site, and it's not helping.
On. Oh my, the classic whiffs those. I mean, the free gun getting beaten out by the Sheriff, and welcome to a thrifty round here. That's gotta hurt Burger Boys' momentum here.
Man, they done did all the work they did with that gamble of a second round, not buying anything except for shields. Like, now we're just back to, like, normal Valorant, right? 8-8, it's anybody's game. So that happens when you normally get rifles online standard in the third round, and then you win when you actually combine as the bonusing teams. Like, this point, the difference here is that Northwood always taking mountain space. Burger Boys would fake like they're taking mountain space and then just stay where they were, which Northwood knew. And I want to see how Burger Boys can figure out how to dismantle this A main hold, and they're going to try. Look.
Oh, Bonnie blinded, Burpsa popping off, and that's an ultimate here, and boom, Bonnie able to take out one of the two smokes. Shock darts online, but boom, another one. Showstopper find it, but what a flick from Bonnie. Bonnie incredibly low, shock dart not hitting its mark, and Matt finding theirs. Benji's now done. It's Dip versus Vix, or Dip with Vix, not versus teammates.
Oh, Viper wall. Utilized against
Dip.
I mean, they were 1 HP, right? Like, they narrowly won the fight against Ferbsa. It's all down to Matt and what is such a fundamental round. Flash that is not utilized. And Dip just confident on the wall, been confident on the swing, closes it out. No another Matt clutch on that board. We've had too many of those, you know?
Yeah, but we look at a Dip right now. Definitely a solid game plan from them. And at the end of the day, Burger Boys just got thriftied. They bought that round. They buy this round.
Yeah.
They got no money going into here. I mean, we're at round 18, and
Yeah, to me, like, I don't want, like, this team, again, has come back from a 7-11. So me saying, like, oh, an 11-8 taking a timeout's too late isn't true. But I was wondering if they wanted to take a timeout, a proactive one now instead of later. And it seems like the later option is going to be taken here.
definitely
If
at
they
11.
lose.
Definitely. I think they're going to wait for the 11
So
to happen.
the buy round if they lose it, yeah.
Yeah. So looking at this next one, though, it's about if they lose it. They have, oh Jesus, just execution here. Vix.
That was a B-lurk. It punished.
Yeah, you can't just walk on the site. Case in point, that's a triple down, and you can't walk onto this one. It's a flawless here. No bomb plant, no picks, no real advantage here, and luckily they didn't invest much, but with the loss bonus they have, welcome to the rifle round.
That was conditioning at its finest, right? C-site was always left very open, very vacant, and they were able to get it without much effort. So what do? You place two players up in really bold positions because you know it's an eco and you go to town. So now, again, Burger Boys are, okay, that's not going to work again. It was an eco, etc. They're going to gamble on the fight over towards A again. This time, look, C-site finally what I thought it would look like, the Deadlock and the Viper working together. But now that's going to weaken the fight here over towards A, and Burger Boys, in theory, should win it.
Yeah, it's a lot of theory crafting here, but Burger Boys has been able to get shut down by Ferbsa in these ecos rounds, but now everyone's got rifles, so it does come down to how they get that information and what do they do with it. But Matt lurking on up might be able to find semblance of a pickup here as a lot of the bots are flying. It's you know, it's like I'm watching the Disney movie Robots. Everybody's just throwing out.
Well, Bonnie, weapon upgraded, and they just assume business like normal, trying to entry. 2Z unfortunately with the trade. Matt, not learned their lesson last time on the lurk punish, looking to do it again here. Benji in position to punish it again here. And at this point, Burger Boys have been stopped in their tracks, are looking for an opening, and Retro may have just provided it alongside Alvin A, finally falling towards their control in this turf war.
There we go. And that turf of A is going to be where the bomb plant's planted. If we could get just Spike down, but we can't with Vix getting one. 30 seconds remaining. Spike wants to get planted, but instead it's 6 feet down for Vix here, stuck inside.
Matt, no!
Oh, the lurk, it finally comes through.
What is it? The three inevitable things. Life, death, taxes, malware. On Lotus, at least.
Hey, the IRS isn't getting my tax return. All right.
But aside from that, I mean, first off, hats off to Vix. How do you have your Viper Orb that late into the round? You know, the Viper nerf where you can't pick it up anymore? Like, having it that late, and it almost scared this team off. And then Retro just kind of put their foot down and was like, nah, I'm going to reswing. I'm not going to be the post-plant player this time, even though they had the Armageddon online. So now, not only did they not use the Armageddon, they have it for this round, where they can try to tie it at double digits.
We got Tuzi's aggression here, TPing on top of Rubble. This might be spotted out, but if they try to swing, they have a whole lot of backup here, and the util is going to fly on out, and unfortunately, Bonnie is gone. You have to leave. You have to get out, but no, Retro is stuck, and it's a pick. Alvin Boy gets theirs. It's now time to keep it going as Tuzi's stuck, but Tuzi ain't stuck quite yet. Gets the pick, TP's out, and that is the trades finished. Rubble left in absolute shambles.
Visol online. Last time it's what saved them. It kind of held them into a thrifty on the B side retake. Can it overwhelm the single player on A? Something's got to break up this crossfire. Looks like Device with Yark Rose is trying to. Tuzi low to wins theirs. Dip wins theirs. It is all down to Matt here yet again. And they get one, but the immediate trade follows.
And that's where we're going to see our economy here for Burger Boys kind of take a hit, 9-11. Now we still have that occasional timeout that we might be seeing, but honestly, with yep, there it is. I told you, 11 is the round that scares IGL, scares coaches into getting the ball rolling. So
it's also where they have the most fun, and in this case, the most resources to work with. 4 ultimates right now for the side of Burger Boys. Every single one except for the showstopper. And let's face it, Bonnie doesn't need a showstopper at entry, especially when they are supported by their team. Because the coordination there was beautiful, right? After they got walled off by the deadlock. Like, the util forces a player out. Tuzi should have been dead, and sometimes, again, FPS at the end of the day, you're going to miss a shot or two. And it was...
well, you're going to miss a shot unless you are Ferbsa, Benji, or...
Hey, even Ferbsa gets knifed.
everybody gets knifed, all right? But...
Is that the 5th inevitability?
If you can find me a player that has never been knifed in a game of Valorant in this LAN entire arena, bring him to the caster desk. We have a new analyst. But getting into this timeout, getting the momentum of our Momentum series paused for a second to hopefully reset what the plan is here.
And that was interesting. We got a POV of Coach Joe. Unlike the timeout that they took on Icebox, right? Coach Joe was more listening, likely to the IGL, to the feedback of the players, and commenting on it if they thought it was a good idea or not. So Northwood feel comfortable right now. They feel like they have this game in their control. And I think that's a fair calm here as we get ready to jump back into the action. This is going to define if we likely see Haven or not.
And Haven, if Lotus is that collegiate 3-site maps really getting a lot of practice for Northwood, Haven's going to be the same way. They're favored if they can just finish this off in 2 rounds.
Here we go, Alvin. I mean, I feel like Alvin's insane right now in the first blood count, but how do you follow through? It's always been the post-plan that gets dicey when players like Benji are alive, when players like Ferbsa are alive. This is the difference again. This massive ult spree. First device ult, now you have the breach ult, then you have the tail ult. I don't want them to use the ult. Please, they can't have to go a few more rounds after this. And it looks like they have sprung everything here just to avoid that point. And while it works, not a sprint.
No,
the flawless.
It's worth it if they get a flawless like that. They had a huge problem with their economy going into these rounds. No one died. That fixes, if they go into the next round with one person going down, they don't have the ability to buy.
Okay, I agree with you for that, but the ultimate made up for it. Now, the issue here is that the players for, I want to say, Northwood are going to be charging up for their next out cycle. So again, you're gambling not once but then twice, versus if you layered the ultimates, when that seemed pretty surefire of a win, at least from our omniscient point of view.
I think
only time will tell, right? We'll
yeah,
see.
only
Do
time
they
will
win or
tell,
not?
but the layered ult is Bonnie frags out. You know, Bonnie just gets another showstopper. Look what's in their hand. They have it available again.
Ooh.
So they are layering them perfectly to get us to a tied game. It's what happens after that that's going to be the real question mark.
And that's my concern, is that you're not going to get big ultimates like Armageddon.
Hello.
What you're going to get is Retro opening kill. They don't even need Bonnie to enter at this point. They're finding openings or making them.
Yeah, I mean, Alvin and Retro being the first blood finders in these rounds definitely gives a lot of space for Bonnie to be, okay, I'm the post-plant guarantee. Show me Benji, and I will show him a showstopper.
Fight, yeah.
Yeah, so getting into this next one, though, it's going to be Matt's Lurk onto Vix for the 5th time. And 3 players remaining. Ferbsa, Benji, Tuzi.
And I love this. This is like they've improved their post-plant tenfold. They are finally using what their agents have to the best of their abilities to delay off the charts.
This might be a little bit too aggro, and they could be getting punished, but Retro keeps it up, takes out Ferbza. Benji will go down, and that's 11-11. We still have the showstopper. We can build up another Retro. With the orbs, they can grab some orbs, they can grab some more kills. We might see another stack of ults.
That would be kind of crazy if we get an Armageddon before overtime. Not impossible. Again, I think that's why there's two reasons why I think Retro was the one pushing blue in there. Because of what you said about ult management. And number two, I think they had enough of Benji finally. They're like, Benji, we're not giving you an inch to take a mile this time. We need this round. 11-11, like I said, the clutch number for Burger Boys, minus that Rogue OT on Icebox, has been 13-11. Can they do it here?
That's going to be up to Benji, to be honest. Benji and Ferbza have been trying to slow it down, but at the end of the day, they have allowed Matt to lurk up on them. For the past 3 rounds, Matt's had free space.
It's the deadlock pig. Like, Benji's making up for it in the kill department, don't get me wrong, but like, have the sensors caught him? Like, I think Benji caught him like once on the lurk, and he didn't learn his lesson, and then was successful the next round.
I mean, I'll say this is a hot take. Benji is definitely not the guy. He's not him anymore. I mean, right here in this half, we saw Benji in the first half nearly, you know, what, 5 kills ago? He's only gotten 5 in this entire half. He needs to start heating it up again, or we're going to have to see Vix do it. We're going to have to see Tuzi do it. And Vix and Tuzi are being shot, busy being shot in the back of the head by Matt.
Yeah, I think Vix was doing a good job when they had the Sova at their side when Dip was playing on C-side with him. And now, again, they've gone back to this divided approach. It looks like Northwood doesn't know what's best. And it seems like maybe what it's going to be is, okay, play retake on the C-side when Burger Boys doesn't have that mass ult spree. And this is what we get to see now. Without those ults, how strong is the C-hold this go-around?
Matt knows that he can try to go for a flank, but he also knows the lineups with his aim. He can stop anybody with the bomb plant in its current position. Blind is online, Annihilator is out, and Vix is able to get one util pick, but this time Benji does not find the value, and here comes the swing. Benji, 42 HP, and everybody has to swing together. It's time to shine Ferbza, but Alvin Boy and Bonnie, 2 for Bonnie. Ferbza's online. Ferbza needs to find theirs, but no, wall banged up. It's Benji who falls, and that is match point advantage here, Zobi.
All right, call me a liar, call me a doubter with them using 3 ultimates in 1 round. The C-hold's still there, and I like how reactive it was. They waited for the initial util for Northwood, and they literally mirrored it, almost. And we glossed over the fact that they had an operator that got smoked off main, and they still fought forward into it somehow.
Yeah, and now another timeout being called, this time, I believe, by Coach Joe. Let's get a Coach Joe POV. Yeah, he's definitely thinking about, okay, how do we break through this? And I know Joe can hear us. Look at that smile. Now, getting on into this game, it really does come down to you can't let this team, you know, as you said it, give them an inch, take a mile. They're taking the entirety of Vegas right now in how much space here. So, and they want to do it. $10,000 is on the line for this land.
I mean, they're about to put their chips on black or red. Punch your ticket to the semifinals in day 3 of the HyperX Momentum Series, or go to Haven, the decider of all deciders for sure, right? The litmus test, as minus Ascent coming back into the mix. And I mean, at this point, it feels like this timeout Coach Joe is, you know, having some more input. Like, it feels like Northwood had some ideas here, but the difficult thing is look at the buy. You have like a Bulldog, you got a Guardian, you got a Stinger. It is scraping the bottom of the barrel and hoping you have enough ingredients to make a cake.
Yeah, well, right now, this kitchen has been cooked. We already saw it happen in Icebox, but this is it. Overtime or not, op in the hands of Retro. And great swing peek. Not going to be able to find it, but they now know there's an attacking up. We could try to get our angles here. They're playing together here, Zobi.
Yeah, they saw it last round of the post plant. And I mean, the question was whose hands is it in this time around? Where is it? Now they know it's towards C, but Burger Boys was expecting a miraculous change in pace out of Northwood following that timeout. Or they're, again, playing more reactively, waiting to see if there was one, and then they resume business, or business like usual, right? And I think now that they've seen, okay, Northwood hasn't done anything peculiar, what is the change? And I think it's this trap play set up towards the C side. They want to lure in the C, and then Paranoia Ferbza out of the mound.
No, I can guarantee it. It's yeah, there we go. But it whiffs, and Retro gets a pick, even with the up in hand. The shorty comes up. Now one more, and a flick. It's Retro, the entry, lurking. Tejo opping. He can just keep doing it. Retro might find another one. They split the team, but
Spike's going A.
Spike's going A.
Northwood knows too. 2 players are there. Ferbza somehow survived the mounting despite Retro being on site. So now they almost have a pinch generated. It's a pinch upon a pinch on both sides of the map. Like, look, Retro and Ferbza swapped. Who's
But
gonna have
Nanner's
bigger
stuck.
impact?
Nanner's at least is good for one. He was stuck there after that bomb plant, but he was good for his. And now you have an ultimate like this, the Hunter's Fury, to cut them in half. And you have to go slow. Ferbza on the lurk, and Retro finally shows up, Stinger in hand now, found a gun, and somehow gets the game. That is Burger Boys off of Retro op entry craziness.
And now they are on a 4-game comeback streak. You know, not as dynamic as a 9-3, but, you know, an 8-4. I mean, you know, even turning around what is an 0-4 game at a start is so hard to work your way out of. And it shows the resiliency this squad has and shows why maybe Northwood University shouldn't have underestimated them in opponents they would have to face off against, because they are now the ones that have sent them home or sent them to their next LAN that they have happening later in the collegiate world.
Yeah, I mean, what a play. Shout-outs to Burger Boys. Shout-outs to, honestly, Ferbza and Benji for a insanely strong delivery here for them. But with that being our game, Burger Boys gets to keep on moving on. And Northwood from a very solid startup in that group stage. And honestly, I think this is the closest match that we have gotten the honor of casting.
No, for sure. And I know there's like question marks with it. We have 4 spots for day 3, right? And we're like, okay, we kind of know where the first 3 are, just what we think. And then the 4th was like a big question mark. And I think Northwood and Burger Boys gave us that reason to believe it could have been one of these 2 teams that punches their ticket. And I mean, oh my goodness. I really wish that like the second half would have been a lot closer, because it was like the 7-5 in Nunero T, like.
Yeah, I will say this. I wanted this to be a 2-1. I needed a map 3 from this. Like, the level of competition that these 2 teams are pumping out for us, I'm sad I'm not going to be able to see more of it at LAN.
And we can't see it, but I'm almost guaranteeing that Alpha has like 4 first bloods as well.
Oh yeah, first bloods, definitely finding theirs. Just craziness here. But for Benji to find 5, I mean, Bonnie 4 frags as a duelist, kind of a given, but Benji here as well on the deadlock. I mean, just beautiful. But as we are getting ready for this next step in our match, I believe we do have a potential post-game interview.
Or we'll have to throw to a break to set it up. Only time will tell. In the meantime, while we wait to see, why don't we welcome back in our analyst, Joey?
Yeah, Joey FPS,
Come on
get
in.
over here. Take a hot seat in the hot seat. Yeah, hot seat for the hot seat here as we get things ready for our winner's interview here. But let me ask, Joey, you just watched probably the game of all time. I gotta wonder, what were you thinking with that Northwood crazy explosion of a comeback?
I mean, it was just what I've been seeing from them all day, I guess, really. Like, it was really interesting seeing them go down 5-0 and then just call the timeout, and then magically they just remember. They just remember, like, hey guys, we're good. Like, maybe we should start winning rounds again, and then they do.
And it's happened like every game today. And I mean, there were so many like jaw-dropping moments. What was your favorite one of those? Like,
I mean, literally that last round. I don't know how my boy just
Retro?
yeah, Retro. He just walked into the smoke, shorted that guy, walked out on site, off that dude in the face, and then
still picks up the stinger, drops the op for a stinger, gets all the way back to his teammate, gets another kill.
I think what's most impressive and why I agree that I think that stands out so much is they went from being the most reserved, safe player, like playing their life, playing the post plans, playing their utility like a good Tejo player, to being completely unhinged, putting their life on the line to die first and foremost. Once they picked up that operator, they got infected. Like when they fought into Blue Room, when they fought into C, it was insanity.
Yeah. And honestly, everything that we've been seeing here has been just so dang clean from these 2 teams. I gotta wonder, it's like, who's gonna be coming up next here for these teams? Like, is there anybody that can slow down Burger Boys? You look at that bracket, it's going to happen here, but we're gonna save that bracket for later. We still have some games going on, but what I am going to ask is, Zobi, we got a post-game interview that we're going to send you down, and me and Joey get to talk a little bit about what we just witnessed there. So honestly, very excited for the games that we had. But I got to ask Joey, is there any player that wasn't Retro, Bonnie, or Ferbsa Benji that you thought needed some more love from the comms?
I mean, I don't really know. I feel like they all just kind of worked really well together. Like, we talked a lot about Nanners, right? And like, I guess maybe he didn't show up as much as we like talked about him, but what did he have? He had like 20 assists, right? So like that doesn't show up on the scoreboard. And like, even if you have like 4 or 5 kills as Breach, like putting in work and putting up 20 assists is like really what kind of matters, and that's what allows those guys to like thrive and shine. Yeah, I mean, yesterday in the group stage, we watched a couple games, and there was a lot of times where a Breach player was either the best thing in the world or stunned 2 of their teammates and they died. That actually happened. We saw, Large and in charge in the group stage fail to clutch a few times. We saw a little bit of an upset, a relatively unknown team by our standards here of Delita, who really shine there. And today, seeing that the competition keeps getting better, keeps getting stronger, I gotta ask this, and answer as honestly as possible. If you guys were still in this playoffs, do you think you'd be making it to day 3? I mean, of course I want to say yes, but like these guys that are coming up that are going to be playing day 3, like they're some of the top Valorant teams in like North America, right? Like tier 2 teams pushing into tier 1, like. Obviously, delusional me wants to say yes, but probably not, unfortunately.
Is there anybody, if you could, because, everybody's got their inspiration, and especially on LAN, seeing some of these players, meeting them, being able to talk to them about the strats, is there any player that we just watched today that you want, would you want to just, not just be on your team, be a coach where you're just if you could get a one-on-one by any player we watched out of the 10 we just saw, who would it be?
Probably Nanners.
Nanners?
I mean, right, like his individual skill is just incredible, and then his flexibility to just obviously, like I said, his scoreline with the 4 kills or 5 kills or whatever he had wasn't incredible for, people look at 5 kills, they say oh, he's not good, but his ability to switch from the ISO and fight and go crazy and do all this, and then just hop on the breach and just be okay with dropping 5 kills and making sure that his utility is good and his team is shining, I would love to learn from that.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, when we talk about Northwood here, not only did they make it to the playoffs today, even if they lost, they're another collegiate team that travels so much. They have a whole nother SEC. I think they're going to soon, so they're going to more conferences. They're going to more collegiate matches, and then more just LAN events here for them. So I think this is a huge warm-up for them to get into these next games because, one, they have to go into those, going to have to beat some more of those collegiate teams that they're very much used to, actually playing against and losing to.
Yeah.
Right. So, how much do you think that this, for not only your team, but how much do you think Northwood gained from taking this out?
I mean, an unfathomable amount, probably, because again, these collegiate teams, it's just so interesting how they operate and how they run that doing something like this, where it's just a bunch of different teams who play kind of crazy. It's super good to be around and understand because. Honestly, that's how collegiate is. People are just so crazy. There's so many things that happen that you aren't expecting because you watch pro play and you're oh yeah, this is what I'm expecting. But collegiate is just so much different. So this is good for them.
Absolutely. Now we are going to have our post-match interview here. Zobi is set up on that stage. So Zobi, take it away.
Alrighty, everybody in the arena. I am joined here on side stage with Matt, the victors of our quarterfinals between Burger Boyz and Northwood. First off, congratulations on your victory. Now, you had us on the edge of our seat all day. 4 comebacks in a row from 9 threes to 8 fours. How do you guys keep your cool and keep your mental up during those sorts of situations?
I mean, at the start of the day, we were down 1-9 on our first map. So going into every map after that, I mean, we saw that we were down, but, every round we were happy, at least it's not 1-9. So that's how.
Yeah, always be optimistic, glass half full. Now, for you specifically, I said there was 4 inevitabilities in life. Life, death, taxes, and Matt lurking and finding a kill. What kept you doing it round after round, even when there were times where Benji was no, swat you away?
Honestly, I just felt like being annoying. That's something that I love, even outside of the game, is just annoying people. So I feel like I kind of was doing a very good job of just being something that I had to worry about all the time, like an annoying fly that you got to worry about.
Well, I know to stay away from you and all flies as well in the arena. And my last question is, your IGL Retro went from like being the safest post-plant player to being completely unhinged, you know, like diving in blue, diving with an operator solo C-site. Why did that switch get flipped so late in the game?
You know, I mean, we were down a few rounds, and there was a timeout called, and my game was bugging. But I remember him saying that he was like, you know, it's time to do something crazy. And he started opping, and he bought a shorty, and he said, no, I'm Jet now. I'm not Teo anymore. I'm Jet. And that's what happened.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. Congratulations, and we will see you tomorrow for semifinals. Enjoy your day off in the rest of Vegas.
Thank you.
And now, back to the desk and Edu.
And welcome back, everybody. Of course, we had an exciting day 2 here at the Momentum Series. We had a just beautiful amount of matches to work over. I know we started off with a little bit of tech issues, but now that we have everything going, working smoothly, thanks again for everybody for watching. And here's our little bonus for those who stuck around. We got a bracket to get you guys updated on what is going to be going on for finals. Of course, we have 2 semifinals tomorrow. Landor versus Burger Boys, probably one of the largest, and it's a big one here. So we do have a little bit of a correction here. It's actually Blue Otter in the semifinal number 2 of Blue Otter versus YDZX Berserkers. And yeah, I did not think that that YDZX Berserkers wasn't going to be joining us tomorrow. So yeah, Landor versus Burger Boys. You're going to be catching that match tomorrow, as well as the not Burger Boys, the YDZX Berserkers versus Blue Otters. 2 teams that, actually 2 matchups that are definitely worth the wait. We saw Prosperity Esports fall behind the scenes. We saw Core not make it a top 4. That's an upset that I've ever seen it. So with that being said, my name has been Edu. We've had Zobi on the mic. We've had all of our analysts, and from the stage, front to the back, thank you for watching day 2. We'll see you tomorrow.